Greetings, this is Obi-Wan Kenobi, and I have drifted into the underworld. The Star Wars Underworld. I have a bad feeling about this.
Here we go. We must go to the lower levels. The underworld.
You've taken your first step into a larger world.
You're after something.
Ben.
Since I've started the underworld, I've met so many great friends.
Chris.
I grew up in the 1990s, and mall packaging is nostalgic for me.
Dominic.
What I love most about Star Wars is that it's fun, and it's all-round good times.
So, this is where the fun begins.
May the Force be with us.
This thing really moves!
Whoa! I like this!
I can't believe you came all this way to see me.
All right, what's up, Star Wars fans? Welcome back to another episode of the Star Wars Underworld Podcast. And tonight on the show, we're going to be talking about the breaking news that there is a new trailer for Star Wars Jedi Survivor that just released. So we're going to be talking about that. We're also going to be talking about The Bad Batch Season 2 and the trailer for that released this week. And on top of that, we've got some new information about the next season of The Mandalorian. Can't wait to get into that. My name is Chris, and joining me on the stream tonight is my good friend, Ben Hart, the Star Wars guy.
How's it going, Chris? How's it going, Hannah? It's an honor to be here talking about all the stuff. There's been so much stuff happening just today. Just to the past 24 hours, there's been so much stuff happening. The past few minutes, we've had a big trailer announcement. The Game Awards is happening right now. We got the new trailer for Jedi Survivor. It's great. Yeah, so much stuff happening. We thought we'd be bored after Andor. No, not even the slightest. So much to talk about.
Awesome. And also joining us, it's Hannah from the Raeside.
It is so good to be here. This period of time is some of my favorite experiences of Star Wars, when it doesn't feel that massive at the time, but you know, some of my fondest memories is looking back of those times where trailers have dropped and we've all gotten crazy over them and get to break it down, talk our excitement out. Yeah, it's just a super cool time to be a Star Wars fan. Yeah, we've been really inundated with so many things this past week. I do still question why they don't try and spread things out a little more, but it makes for an awesome, exciting week to be a Star Wars fan.
Awesome. Ben, do you want to do the plugs and then intro our first segment?
Absolutely.
Thank you.
So first off, I will do the plugs, and I will tell you to go over to the Star Wars Underworld Network, where we are broadcasting right now. You can find the Star Wars Underworld YouTube channel right here. On YouTube, just search up Star Wars Underworld and avoid that weird test footage that Lucasfilm put out a few years ago. We got the Raeside, we got Ion Cannon, we got Tales from the Galaxy, and more? Question mark? Maybe. Maybe in the near future we will be getting even more additions to the network. It's going to be great. But yeah, we got Hannah, the Raeside right here.
I'm over there. I'm over there.
Doing all kinds of stuff. It's like every time I turn around, like I see Raeside's going live. I'll be, how do you do all this?
Yeah, I know. It's all the time. It's a good time. It's a good time though. Actually, I know you're probably going to plug it, but I would love to talk about it now. What's coming up tomorrow? Isn't it tomorrow? We've got a special event happening.
We do. I'll go ahead and mention it right now. We have a special gaming event at the Star Wars Underworld Network Discord. You can follow the links in the description. There may or may not be an updated link in the description right now. Probably emphasis on not, because I've had a busy day. But we're going to be playing Fall Guys. For those who are unfamiliar, it's a game that I've kind of gotten addicted to the past few months. It's free to play. It's on most consoles. Like, if you haven't, like, I understand, like, a lot of people love Fall Guys. I love Fall Guys. Definitely come check it out if you are a player. If you're not a player, I say doubly so come, because it's going to be fun. It's especially fun when you've never played it before. It's a wild game. Highly, you will be, it's Fall Guys is like, oh, look at this colorful, dumb game with these jelly beans guys, kids game. And then like 5 minutes later, you're like, I can't believe I'm not winning this. Like, I fell again. It's bad. It's bad. It's a really addictive.
I
So
can't
yeah,
wait.
9 p.m. Eastern Friday. Go to the Discord, Star Wars Underworld Discord, and check it out. It's going to be a lot of fun. And yeah, so that's a plug for the Discord. You can send us feedback at swunderworld@gmail.com. And of course, subscribe and review on all the podcatchers and I guess YouTube. You can subscribe on YouTube. You can subscribe on Apple Podcasts. Everywhere you can subscribe to us and get our shows, whether they be video or audio formats. Yeah, however you prefer, you can get the Star Wars Underworld Podcast in as many ways as possible. And yeah, I think that's all the plugs. I don't usually do this. I'm very fish out of water when I do this.
I sprung that when you on.
Yeah, I know. Well, I have to expect
that was good rolling.
You're doing great.
Literally, I had to go do something the second that happened. I'm like,
this happens. It always happens.
Nice
Bye. Do the
job.
plugs. Bye. Oh, I love it.
So thankfully,
I love
like
it.
13-ish years of podcasting has improved my improv skills. So no worries. What are we starting with, by the way? Okay, Hannah, you get to pick. Okay, so
Yes. Can I
Bad
pick?
Batch.
Let's
Batch or
do.
Jedi Fallen Order?
Let's do Fallen Order or Survivor. Even though I know it's
Survivor.
called Jedi Survivor, I keep calling it Fallen Order or like Fallen Order 2. Like
Right.
it's just that's all I'm calling it. But I think let's start with that because that happened like within the hour of like now. It's like just happened.
20 or like 30 minutes ago, the trailer dropped for Star Wars Jedi Survivor. It's a really good trailer. Like I have not played the original game. I've obviously watched a lot of things, but I'm very, very hyped for this. And it looks really, really good. There's a lot of good things. There's a freaking gray Wampa in there. There's commando droids.
Yeah.
There's so much new stuff in here that I think was really, really exciting and just makes sense. There's all kinds of the characters are doing things. Sears got some kind of Jedi temple thing, archives going on. I don't know what's happening. But we saw the trailer. I saw it once. Hannah, lead us off. What did you think of the trailer first off?
Yeah, this trailer looks really, really cool. I think it did a good job of showing the different types of gameplay. I think there's going to be some interesting characters in here. Seer looks like she's building up, like she's in the Jedi archives. She's in there doing something. She's back into being a part of the Force. So that's really interesting. And there's some other characters, like Cal had like a buddy at one point, like a dude with him.
That was a
They were,
dude,
like,
random dude.
They were like teaming up and like, is he another Jedi? And I still am unsure about the Bacta tank guy. Who is that? And why is he so angry? Is he a Sith? Did he used to be Sith?
Is it a tank guy or girl?
Oh, that's a
That
good
is not a
good question.
I thought it was a dude from the trailer at the celebration. It looked like a dude, but now it looks like a girl. So
no, wait, wasn't that Marin?
Was it?
I don't think so. It
Because
crossed my
Marin's
mind,
not in
but
the trailer. Other than that,
Marin has like markings on her face.
She
doesn't
does, but the hair was the same.
Yeah, I know. I'm unsure now.
That's what I thought.
But yeah,
there's some really like full on Fallen Order fan that's screaming at their YouTube right now.
Like what it is, yeah.
Because they've seen the trailer 14 times. We've only seen it once, guys. Okay, give us a break.
Absolutely, yeah.
But it's a great trailer. I mean, there's a lot of stuff. There's the Dark Troopers from Rebels are in there.
Oh yeah, a lot of cool
dudes.
droids.
Yeah,
and the commando droids, or I call them ninja droids, but I think they're actually called commando droids.
Ninja droids is a really good word for them, but
yeah, they're commando droids.
Well, I think
they were in the Clone Wars initially.
In my trailer reaction, I'm like ninja droids, and then afterwards I was like, I don't think that's the official title. I was like, oh well, that's fine.
Apparently, this is set like 5 years after the original game, but like there's so much droids. There's obviously separatist droids, there's battle droids, there's commando droids. There's a lot of stuff going on here. I don't know what.
And Cal looks aged. He looks tired, man.
So much age. Got some new scars. You got that facial hair, the midnight shadow in there.
I mean, he's just been fighting, and the Empire just keeps getting stronger. And he's like, "Come on!" Despite all of our efforts, it just keeps getting worse.
Are they setting up like some potential cameos? Because like, look, he's like, we're getting into like the Obi-Wan Kenobi Andor era, like moving closer to that. So like, Andor season 2, Cal Kestis, anybody?
Yeah, for sure. I've long had the theory that when Kenobi was announced, I was so certain Cal was going to be in Kenobi season 1. So I'm a big fan of that whole concept, and I actually fleshed this out on the stream on the channel this week of talking about how maybe Obi-Wan could like be this kind of mentor to Cal for a while and something like that in the Kenobi show. But I really hope that, talking about the storyline of Jedi Survivor, there's some deeper connections to maybe the live action shows that can happen. So maybe, some characters from the live action shows that could show up like in the game, or something about the game that enhances something, even something in like the Ahsoka show, or like, another season, maybe that's revisited in Andor season 2. I feel like there's some deep tissue connecting we could do here. Deep tissue connecting? Is that? Did I say that like Yoda?
I think it's really cool that so many of the projects that are happening right now are in the dark times, because it allows that to happen. And it makes sense, because it's like that's the biggest gap in the movies. Like, you only have a few years between most of the movies. There is a 10-year gap between episode 1 and 2, though, that I feel like we still need more stuff in. But that big 18-year gap between episode 3 and 4, like, that leaves so much space. And I'm glad that they keep filling it in, and it's all current, because it provides those opportunities for those multimedia crossovers and crossovers between shows on Disney Plus. Like, now we just need a movie. We just need a movie, a Dark Times movie, and we've got it all.
Yeah, I mean, like, I know a lot of people over the years will be like, yeah, we're done with the Dark Times. There's so much stuff in there. Like, move on to something else. And like a couple years ago, I might agree with you, but like, right now we're getting some really in-depth storytelling, and on kind of various different topics. With the Bad Batch, we're getting the beginnings of the rebellion and the fallout of the Clone Wars. And Andor, we're getting the literal beginnings of the rebellion going into A New Hope. And then with Fallen Order, we're getting kind of this Jedi-centric, what's going on with these people over here, and how do they move on? So I think, like, as long as the stories are good, like, keep doing it. Like, don't pull back. And the fact that all these things are in the same era is interesting. It's interesting that obviously there is crossover, but not in things like Obi-Wan Kenobi literally, like, basically turned a level from Jedi Fallen Order, the last level, into an entire episode. So, like, that's a connection right there. But, I think, I think, come on, you've got Cam Monaghan there. Like, he was out on stage tonight promoting the game.
That was awesome.
You've got
a
screen actor like there. Like, get him on screen.
I'm shocked. I'm just shocked that they have not brought him into live action, because again, when it was first announced that he was going to be playing Cal, I'm like, okay, I see what they're doing here. They're setting up for a movie or a TV show or something that's going to be based on this game. And I'm still waiting for that to happen. Come on, Disney, let's go.
It seems like Cal Kestis could be, I don't know, that would be, he could be a character that maybe similar to Ahsoka, kind of this touch point character of, like, he's kind of around and you can kind of revisit him at different points in his life. And I don't know, there's going to be this 5-year gap between Fallen Order and Jedi Survivor. I don't know, maybe they'll work on that. I don't know. But this game looks really good. I don't know, Chris, did you have any more thoughts on the trailer overall? I know you just watched it.
Yeah, it looks really cool. I would say, like, the gameplay graphics don't look like they've been updated too much. It looks like it's the same, like, engine and everything from the first game. So I say that's probably the one negative thing that I have, is, like, I was hoping maybe it would look a little bit better. It didn't to me look much better than the first game. But it looks like a lot of the elements are new and fresh, and a lot of the characters and places. And I just so I think all in all, like, I'm super excited to play the game. And the first game was just absolutely amazing. So I can't imagine this would be any worse than that. And hopefully it's better. Hopefully they find some ways to improve some of the mechanics of the game and keep the story really engaging.
Yeah, for sure. I think I agree with you. It didn't look like astronomically better in terms of graphics quality. There was a bit more smoothness I found in just his movements, but that it's different. One thing is watching it, but it might be another thing actually playing it. And I did a replay of in the midst of a replay of Fallen Order, and that's what I'm finding. I'm like, oh, the mechanics of it is a little bit clunky. So I think that's when the game comes actually out. I think that's what I'll be looking for a bit more, just a flow of his movements and mechanics of like what moves you can do. But what I am interested about is this whole idea that he's going to have a gun or a blaster.
Yeah,
and it looks like maybe that's the grapple. I think I said it looks like it's like a grapple that like he's like swung off some part. It was like a big building and he was swinging off like Spider-Man. I'm like, maybe he uses it as a grapple, like that's
like Lego Star Wars
new feature. Like Lego Star Wars? Oh, right. Yeah, of course. Yeah. I was like, what? Fake fan. No, yeah, exactly like that. And I think that'll be a cool, just like a technique thing that could be introduced to the game. Ben, question for you. You said you haven't played Fallen Order, but you've seen heaps of it. Do you think, like, are you convinced enough yet that you'll get Fallen Order and you'll get Survivor, or just only play Survivor, or like at all?
I mean, if I happen to get a PS5 or an Xbox or whatever in the next little bit, I'll be buying both of these games, like full stop. Like, these like Fallen Order will probably be the first game that I buy. But I don't. It doesn't come on Nintendo Switch yet. Dang it!
That's right.
That's weird that it doesn't. I'm surprised.
Let's get you one. Reminder that you can super chat with us here live on the channel to get Ben to play the Fallen Order series.
Go fund me.
Get Ben
my
on the
address
console.
is you can send me a PS5 because I take charity. Maybe.
I already forget what was in the trailer. What else was it?
Yeah, I'm going through it right now.
A lot of creatures. There's so many creatures. My God, there was.
You had Cal like riding on something. Like
that's right, like
a non-snow tauntaun bird creature thing.
Yeah, that was cool.
Yeah, he's like petting it. He's like, hey, and then he takes it, and then like he picks up a stormtrooper and uses its own like turret gun to fire on his buddies. And there's a pterodactyl. There's a dude in a mask looks kind of like Revan.
I was like, what's going on with those people's like masks? Like they look reminiscent of other things, but they're not.
It's cool that they're not. There was so much Inquisitors in the first game that I think that it's cool that we're getting away from that seemingly. That there's, I don't know what these dudes' deal are, but like the fact that we're getting some really interesting villains and the big dude with like the alien and like I said, a Wampa. There's a freaking Wampa, brown.
That's right. That was iconic. Yeah, that was great.
Yeah, a little bit of Empire stuff, but not as much.
The feel of this game is so good. Like they really nailed the Star Wars feel. You know what I mean? Like they've really nailed the aesthetic of it being in this universe. Who do we think the main villain is? Who is the main villain? Is it the back to person? I'll say back to person.
That's what it kind of seemed like.
Or is it like I feel like he's a
well,
Jedi,
there's
though.
also
I don't know.
There's a dude like at what is this 131 in the trailer. There's a dude holding looks like a comlink, like some kind of ancient comlink. He's wearing gold robes. He's got a white face, and he's hanging out with the big alien dude. And I'm like, okay, maybe this is the
big
villain?
alien dude. Yeah.
Maybe I don't know.
Didn't they looked like some chumps, didn't they? They were like, let's show this Jedi what
I saw the grapple thing you were talking about. He definitely grappled.
Oh yeah, the grapple. Right.
Also, there's a freaking crossguard lightsaber in here.
Is there?
Like that's the upgrade. That's the upgrade that you get with the lightsaber, I guess, is now you can have a crossguard.
Yep. So
he's got a blue crossguard lightsaber.
Yep.
Wait for that to come to Disney World in like 2025.
Yeah, so true though.
Double-bladed crossguard lightsaber.
I love it. But this game looks so good. It just there's quite a variety of characters. I'm vibing here. I feel like it's
and there's the dude that helps him up on the gantry is also like fighting with him. So it's like, how does that work in the game? Is there some kind of 2-player feature, or do you fight with that dude, or is he AI? I don't know.
He did I thought they were like wrestling or like attacking each other, and then he was actually just doing like a somersault.
He did like a roll
to,
over his back, and then kicked to his right or something. Just being overly dramatic as you do.
Actually,
But,
someone else in the chat said that other droid, Magna Guards, not Magna.
There's
droid.
Magna Guards, I think, at the
Yeah,
beginning of the
Magna
trailer.
Guards.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was cool. That's awesome. I like that. I like that a lot.
Oh, I'm sorry. I'm just distracted. Ryan Johnson liked one of our tweets.
What?
I love that he
awesome.
presented.
Game Awards. Showed up at the Game Awards just randomly, and I tweeted "Wild Ryan Johnson appears," and he just liked it. So social media
hilarious.
points. Social media points.
Oh, that's a
You
good
should
day.
you should tweet at him. We got a live stream. You want to come on? Talk about the movie that we love.
Hey, BT Dubs. Yeah.
Oh, yeah, be those people. God. Any more thoughts on this trailer before we move on to the big one?
The begin.
I can't believe we still have to wait till March for this game. I want it for Christmas. Why didn't they put it out for Christmas? What are they doing?
Everything. Again, what is the release schedule for Lucasfilm? What are you doing? Everything's coming in March. We'll have overlap between the end of Bad Batch and the beginning of Mandalorian, and then at the same time we'll have Jedi Survivor coming out. March is going to be it's the new Star Wars month. Move over May.
Yeah.
Nobody cares about May the 4th anymore. It's March now.
Like they're even having celebration in April, not May. I was like, oh, okay, we don't care about May anymore.
I forgot about celebration. Jeez.
Right?
Next 6 months are going to be, oh God, there's so much happening. I'm scared. Also excited, but wow. Okay. All right. So I think it's time to move on to
Let's hit up the super chat quick.
Okay.
Yeah,
Joel saying, do you think Cal dies at the end of the sequel or goes to the unknown regions, the place where all Jedi Knight episode 6 go? I don't know. I mean,
or the world between worlds.
I feel like they're going to keep Cal alive for a little bit, but I can't imagine him making it through A New Hope. I can't. But we're still a good ways off from A New Hope. So I think he's going to survive this because I think they're still going to want him in some other things. That's my opinion.
Right. So yeah, how this franchise, I think one more game. I think Cal's gonna make it out of this one. One more big game, make it a trilogy of Jedi something, Star Wars Jedi, whatever, Star Wars Jedi the end. Star Wars Jedi
the end.
Cal Kestis dies at the end of this one. Something like that.
The story ends here. Love that game.
But I think that's when we'll kind of get, and then he'll go into the world between worlds, and we won't see him again. He'll go off with Ahsoka and live happily ever after, because that's how it goes.
Do you ship them? Are you shipping them then?
Wait, what?
I guess I am. What's the ship name? What's the ship name? Cal Ahsoka. Cal Ahsoka. Yeah.
That actually really fits. Wow, that's a good portmanteau.
That's nice. I kind of like that.
I just stumbled into a new ship. Watch out, Tumblr.
I stumbled into a new ship. That's like every Clone Wars episode ever. I stumbled into a new ship. Oh
no! What have I done? What have I done? All right. So we have the Bad Batch trailer to talk about, but first we have a little something. We have to hear. Someone is conspicuously not here tonight, and I know for a fact they are very angry that Lucasfilm decided to drop this trailer this week while they were not here. So let's go ahead and hear from that person right now.
And hello, Hannah. Hello, everybody. I am so sorry I couldn't be on the show this week, but I am currently attending my first Toronto Maple Leafs home game since February 2020. And look, when I picked this game to attend and saw this as a week that I was willing to take off the podcast back in the summer, had I known that there would be 2 major trailer releases this week, probably would have picked a different game to go to, but that's life. C'est la vie. And so, unfortunately, I had to miss this episode, and what an episode to miss. But because I don't want to be left out entirely of the conversation, here are 3 takeaways of mine from the Bad Batch trailer for Season 2. Number 1, Coruscant, Coruscant. I loved seeing live action Coruscant again in Andor, and I'm really excited to see animated Coruscant again in the Bad Batch. I think animated Coruscant is my favorite Coruscant. I loved the look at that planet and the look of that planet in the Clone Wars, and I'm looking forward to seeing how they move it incrementally away from what we saw in the prequel era towards the more brutalist version of it that we saw in Andor. And who knows who could show up? Maybe Luthen Rael could make an appearance in season 2 to ask the Bad Batch if they want to risk it all for something real. Unlikely given the timing of the production of Andor and the Bad Batch season 2. Something that the show has basically been done for probably a year now, or close to it. So unlikely on that front, but still very excited to see more of Coruscant, the Senate, the Underworld, all of it. Number 2, I'm really looking forward to seeing more of Echo and Hunter's relationship play out, and they're kind of differing visions for what they should be doing, what the Bad Batch should be doing. One thing that's really interesting about Echo as a character is that, yes, he is part of the Bad Batch. He has become one of their brothers, but unlike Wrecker and Tech and Hunter and Crosshair, he didn't grow up as part of the Bad Batch. He came up as a Reg, and he has deep ties to other Regs, especially to Rex, because Rex, as we saw back in season 6 of the Clone Wars, was willing to move heaven and earth to save Echo. So I think Echo still feels that they should be involved in whatever it is that Rex is involved in, because Rex seems to be involved in that early version of the Rebel Alliance. And so it'd be interesting to see a little bit of tension emerge there. We saw a bit of that in season 1, and from the looks of the trailer, it seems like it's a possibility that we'll see more of that, a very real possibility that we'll see more of that in season 2. And finally, there's one shot towards the end of the trailer that I found very interesting, because it appears to show the Bad Batch on the planet Sereno, which, of course, is the homeworld of Count Dooku. Now, we had obviously got that sort of mini arc of Count Dooku stories in Tales of the Jedi earlier this year, and this has me kind of wondering, might that actually factor into some Bad Batch stuff in ways that we weren't expecting? If you remember our discussion about Tales of the Jedi, I was thinking that some of the Ahsoka stuff could be laying the groundwork for stuff that we'll see in season 2 and beyond of Bad Batch. But now that we see Dooku's homeworld in there, perhaps some of the stuff in Tales of the Jedi will lead, in the Dooku story specifically, will lead to some interesting story developments for the Bad Batch in season 2. Even if Dooku doesn't really factor into it, still very interesting to see a world that was so highly invested in the Separatist Alliance, seeing what they're up to in the Imperial era. Now that they seem to be part of the Empire again, although that is an assumption. And that is something that they played with a bit in season 1 already. So this might be a way of continuing to explore that. All right, so that is 3 takeaways from me from the Bad Batch trailer. If there was a 4th one, I guess it would be, I want to know why there's a voiceover saying parents at the end of the trailer over the title card. I don't know. I don't know what's going on there. I'm sure there's a reason, or maybe it was a mistake. Who knows? But yeah, so that's it from me. I hope everybody enjoys the rest of the show. I look forward to hearing, listening to it myself and hearing what everybody says about Bad Batch Season 2 and, of course, Jedi Survivor, the trailer that I still haven't seen as of the time of this recording yet. I'm looking forward to hearing what everybody has to say about that and continuing the discussion in future weeks. And I really am looking forward to being back next week in particular, because I don't know if anybody's given away what's happening next week, or at least what the plan is for next week. As we know, plans can change. But if everything goes according to plan, next week, at last, I shall have my revenge. All right, that's it from me. Enjoy the rest of the show. I will see everybody next week. May the Force be with you. Go, Leafs, go. It's a wrap.
Wow.
Mini podcast within a podcast there.
Yeah, that was amazing. Thank you, Dom.
Podcast
A lot of stuff to cover in there. I'm glad he brought up things, and also the tease next week. I forgot about that, to be honest, but yeah, something happening, guys. It's gonna be good. It's gonna be good. Also, Nah, you will not have your revenge. I refuse. So we have a guest now. It's just everybody, it's a whole party in here. We're getting everybody in here. He was in the chat earlier. May as well bring him on, get his thoughts on the Bad Batch trailer. It's our good buddy, Mr. Chad. How's it going?
It is going well. How are you guys? It's been a minute.
It's been a minute.
Since I've seen your faces. I saw Dom's face like recently, so I'm like,
I love it.
But,
I love
hey,
it. You're
it's been a minute since I've seen the rest of your faces.
You're the resident Bad Batch guy. I feel like that should be your title.
I have a shelf right here, just Bad Batch Funkos and all the Black Series figures, and then like the Legos, and then back there you can barely see him. He's just out of shot. Is my Echo Hot Toys, and still waiting on my hunger. So
I love it.
I love the badge.
Yeah, I mean, look, we're
but
dying
to answer Dom's question about the parents. Apparently, allegedly in like California, they can't like advertise to children, so it's like they have to say parents. The Bad Batch, so they advertise for like the parents. I heard this on a stream yesterday. So
that's funny.
Wow.
Allegedly, that's
one of
allegedly
my favorite
why,
things. Watching the reactions for this is just watching people go like when it gets to the end, it goes parents. The Bad Batch. Everyone goes like, what?
See,
what did he say to back that up? What did he say? Parents? That can't be right.
I watched it on Disney Plus when I was at work, and I was like, I didn't get like on the Disney Plus one. It doesn't say parents, so I was like, what is everybody talking about parents? Good friend Corey. He pointed out, and I was like, "What? I didn't hear this thing." Like, I was like, I definitely didn't hear this. And then when I went to go watch Willow last night, I put on the Bad Batch trailer just to watch it on the TV, and I didn't hear it. I was like, it must have been on like the YouTube one. So then I watched the YouTube one, and I was like, oh, there it is. There's this parents
I love
thing.
that. That's fascinating. I didn't know that. I didn't know that was a thing until right now. Wow.
When you hear it the first time, you're like parents, and you're like,
oh yeah, I was watching.
Is it like parents, as in Perrin Mothma? Is it? Are they rebranding this as parents? The Bad
parents popping up.
Yeah, I was watching like a reaction video, and like when the guy, he was just like rewinding it back. It's like, what did they say? Parents. Bad Batch. Parents, the Bad Batch. All right, what else?
So weird. I love that.
It's
anyway.
wild.
Bad Batch.
So anyway, the best that we already covered the best part of the trailer, the logo with
exactly.
So what's the Chad? What was your second favorite part of the trailer?
Commander Cody. I love Cody, and I love that we're getting him back. And I mean, he's bad now, so I guess, or is he?
But is he though? Is he though?
I don't know about that.
I think he's questioning. He's questioning everything in the world and the universe. And I think he's trying to suss out what Crosshair is thinking. So and I feel like Crosshair is gonna keep being evil and on that side. And he's gonna be like, Cody, you're being insane. And Cody's being like, and then I feel like Rex, that's where Rex will get involved. I feel like Rex will want to try and get Cody out of there. I think
definitely, because Rex and Cody, they got a relationship there, so they're gonna have to get them together at some point. I don't think they're gonna be shooting each other. Maybe they might start by shooting at each other.
I still predict that Rex is gonna kill Cody.
Brutal.
That was my prediction for season 1, and then it didn't happen. So I was like, season 2, and if it doesn't happen in season 2, season 3.
Forget about Vader versus Obi-Wan round 2. This is the rematch of the century. Cody versus Rex.
Yeah, because I think he's gonna be questioning it, and then he's just gonna still like, this kind of like there's people are leaving. I think Wolf is the one he's talking about, like about defecting. So he's like talking like clones are defecting, but like I guess I'll still go because he's a good soldier. I mean, you see that. The Clone Wars, like the entire time, he's a good soldier. He does his job, and I think he's gonna be the one who stays.
Well, and there was that whole thing. There was that whole thing with Obi-Wan Kenobi where originally they were going to have Cody on Tatooine protecting Obi-Wan. Like that's infuriating. First of all, we didn't get that. Also, really cool. Just like with the trajectory of that character, and just also, I'm curious what the Bad Batch has to say about the clones. What is their story? What is going on here with the clones? And what is things we already saw with that clone with the great hair? I always forget his name.
Hauser.
My boy Hauser.
Yeah.
I literally think of Hauser every single day. All right, I need to know if he's safe. I need to know if he's safe.
They're setting something up with Hauser, okay? They're setting up this arc for the clones. The clones, they were loyal for a time. Like, I love the scene. You still think the regs aren't programmed? They're like, yay, Empire, yay. And then later, Hauser's just like, nah, I'm not down with this. And a bunch of clones just throwing down their weapons. Like, they're going somewhere with this. And I think Cody, being the poster child of good soldiers follow orders, the guy that would just like, Obi-Wan, the guy I've been working with for 3 years, shoot him. I don't care about him anymore. So like, I'm very curious. Like, and when Crosshair's like, they're all traitors, just like the Jedi, and Cody's like,
wow, that's a good
intense.
Crosshair.
Like,
that was a good Crosshair voice. That was
good
pretty
soldiers follow orders.
This is pretty good. You do a Crosshair impression. That is so good.
Amazing. Joel's got a super chat. Hot take: I never believed Obi-Wan and Cody had a deep relationship, so Rex killing Cody would have more weight. Maybe why Rex ditched the rebellion. Wow.
I tweeted that out yesterday. Like, I think because when we meet him in Rebels season 2, he's kind of just like, no, I don't want to do this Rebel thing, right? And then they're like, hey, Ahsoka wants you to do it, and he's like, all right, sign me up. And then he, he's like, I don't want to do it at all. And then so something has to happen for him to be, because like right now he's all gung-ho. Even when we met him in like season 1, he was all gung-ho, like, we need to like get these guys, we need to like tell everybody what's going on, like what's actually happening with us. So something's got to happen for him to be like alone on an ATTE with him and Gregor and Wolf. But apparently they do retire, so there's that too, allegedly.
He has to have his Luke Last Jedi moment. He has to have that moment where he's like, I'm done with this. I got to walk away. I got to go exile myself. I got to go fish with the guys and not deal with this. And, I'm curious what that situation is. And I love your theory about, him having a spat with Cody and potentially killing one of his brothers could be something that pushes him over the edge.
Yeah, him killing like his best friend, like, I mean, I guess you couldn't say Cody's his best friend, but like still, like him killing Cody is like the one, like they were close together in the Clone Wars. So like it would make sense if it was Cody, like he had to kill Cody, and he's like, no, I don't want to do this rebellion thing anymore. Until Ahsoka comes around and be like, hey, you want back in?
That's a really good theory. Because I think really the Bad Batch show overall, I think, is just a vessel for telling the story of the clones, the cloning process, and differentiating that they're not just all the same, and everyone kind of has their own story and character and personality. So it's like I feel like to pin, because one of the most shocking moments in the Clone Wars was the Umbara arc. And one of the most shocking moments of the Umbara arc was when they were pinned against each other and like they killed each other. Like that was so insane and horrible. So I think it'd be so fascinating to decide. I haven't actually considered that. Like Rex could kill Cody. Like I feel like it would be accidental or something, or like Cody attacks or something, and then Rex could accidentally shoot him. Or something, some way.
Or he has to stop him. Like that's the only way to stop him. He's got to kill Cody. I'm telling you,
but
it's gonna happen.
But I'm not super sold that Cody's all that bad, because I thought a cool story for him would be that he starts to regret what he did to Kenobi. He starts to go, why did I just shoot at him? Why did I let him fall? Like how did I do that? Like if he's like really in deep regret about that.
I kind of expect that to play into it. I can see that.
If I had like a big criticism of the Bad Batch season 1, it would be kind of that it kind of glossed over like what was going on with Hauser and the clones, and like the psychology of the chip, the psychology of how they obviously they start out.
There's like a title of a documentary of like the cloning.
It's an
about potato chips. About potato chip, actually. That's what it's about.
Right.
Where the potato chip came from. But anyway, continue.
Why some people call it crisps and why some people call it chips.
Exactly. Yeah,
Psychology.
Oh boy. The psychology of the crisps.
Wait, does that mean that
I got a crisp in my head?
Wait, does that mean that that in the British dub, they have a crisp in their head?
They inhibit a crisp. Oh my god!
We gotta take the crisp out.
Gotta get the crisp out. Oh,
they said they had a crisp in their head that made them do it.
Activate the crisp.
But anyway, like the whole idea of like how does that process happen in regards to them flipping the switch, becoming Order 66, good soldiers follow orders, and then them coming out of it. And I hope we get more of that in this season of like, okay, what's actually going on with the clones? How are they feeling? What do they think happened? If you actually asked a clone, hey, that day on Empire Day, what happened? What did you do? Do they remember it? Do they have blackout? Do they have just like faint memories of it? Is it just like, oh yeah, good soldiers follow orders, that's what we did? Or is it this like, oh my God, look what we did? Or oh my God, or whatever. I don't know if they have.
Well, I think it's not just, wasn't there some explanation given to the clones about why they were doing it? Like they weren't just told like execute Order 66, kill the Jedi. Like there was some context to that. I think it got around.
The Jedi are traitors.
So that's
it's the same story. I mean,
exactly.
Even Cody says it in the trailer. I'm pretty sure he's like,
so they would know why they did it. They would know why they did it because they were told that and they executed it. And I think the only ones that would have questioned it were ones that would have questioned that fact. And like, if they were told that and then they were like, wait, no, they're not traitors. That doesn't make sense. But then they did it and they killed them anyway. Then they'd be like, well, why did I do that? But then for most of them, they would have been like, okay, they're traitors. Orders have been given. I'm going to do it. They don't even realize that it wasn't them that did it because they would have maybe done it anyway.
Yeah, I mean, we do see like Rex, like he hesitates, like and obviously, like him being close to Anakin and Ahsoka, that was the reason why Ahsoka's still alive. He was like, I don't want to kill her right away. He was fighting the chip.
Yeah, chilling in the basement brings up an interesting thought, which is, the chip's not also just about that moment. It's about reinforcing the fact that they're going to follow that order. So they're saying, so if the clones are showing regret and defecting, etc., we now have to assume the inhibitor chips are failing. A good reason to shift to stormtroopers. So that's an interesting take on why they're shifting to stormtroopers is that the chips aren't working anymore, and that if they need to give an Order 67 or 68, they won't be able to.
And that's something we see specifically in this trailer is the War Mantle troopers showing up more and more, seemingly signaling the phasing out of the clones. And maybe that is the direct, things like we know the clones are good soldiers. Like they're the best soldiers. Like they're really good at their jobs, but they're good people at the end of the day. And I don't think the chips are really going to take that away from them. So they're not going to go along with the Empire. It's not just, they can believe that the Jedi were traitors, but they can still get, like Hauser was, like, we're using our powers to oppress the people we once saved. Like, this is not right. They're aware of that. I think the clones are going to be, quote unquote, woke and understand that they're not doing the right thing. And so that could lead to, okay, we need more recruits. We need more War Mantle troopers to kind of come in and take over because the clones aren't doing the job.
The fascinating thing about Hauser I found in that Rescue on Ryloth, I think it was called,
right,
is when, like, he had the kind of enlightenment and made decisions. It was like, yeah, this isn't okay. But all he had to do was give a really compelling, and it was a good speech to his brothers, and kind of talk to them. Like they had their guns drawn, and he just like spoke to them, and then most of them were like, no, you know what, you're right, and put their guns down, and were like, we'll join you. Like that was really easy. if they just if it was just explained to them that this isn't the right thing. We need to protect our ourselves and our brothers, and we here to protect people, but we're causing chaos on people. Like, it was just one compelling speech, and then the clones return. So it's that's really fascinating. Can't that be
also
done en masse?
the flip side of that, the clones have their own. They're not really affected by the chips anymore. Seemingly, they have their own minds. Some of them, like Crosshair, are totally down for this Empire thing. And they're like, yay, fascism, let's go. They're all in. So what is will this be a civil war between the clones? Will we have a fight between clones versus Imperial clones versus Republic clones or Rebel clones? And could Cody and Rex or maybe the Bad Batch also kind of represent that, because we already have this split between the Bad Batch and Crosshair. Where will Cody fall? We know where Rex is, but where does Cody fall?
Yeah. And back to my point about Cody, it's he's questioning it. I even found a bootleg version of the one we saw at Celebration. Too bad Dom wasn't here, because I was chilling with him. So we saw that, and we were both freaking out when Gunji showed up. So there's a lot more conversation in that one between Cody and Crosshair. And back to the trailer, I'm glad they didn't just redrop that trailer. They cut a whole different trailer.
Yeah.
There's actually all this other stuff we're still yet to talk about with the trailer. There's 50 other things I've just realized.
Let's kind of go through the trailer kind of in order a little bit. Before we do that, let's bring in another voice, another person. It's a party, I tell you. It's Jordan.
Yes.
He's here.
Y'all want to know how long I've been sitting in here?
I only just saw it, to be honest.
Yeah, I know you only just saw me, to be honest.
I was like, oh, that's Jordan.
It's giving Finn.
It's
giving Finn from the sequel.
So Jordan, what do you think of the trailer? Tell us what you saw of the trailer.
I thought it was amazing. I forgot where I was when I was watching it. That day was a blur. So the only thing I remember is the trailer from that day, actually. I don't remember the Celebration trailer, so I was like, oh, okay, this is cute, Yeah. I also did not register that was Cody until the end of the trailer. Don't know how.
It's not yellow anymore.
I love that.
Don't know how. But it was great. Omega's back, Wrecker's back, Hunter's back. They're all back, and it's amazing. I love them all.
The squad, the family.
The chaotic clone family. That's what I call it.
Yes, that's so true. It's so true.
Okay, so first shot, we've got this island thing. This is actually the clip. We were all there, I think. We saw the clip, right? The beach scene.
Yeah.
Where they're running on the beach. They're running with the crabs. Yeah. We were all there.
Yeah.
We got the crowds. We saw I'm assuming this is the first scene of the first episode. That's what I'm assuming.
I'm assuming. Yeah, it's got to be the first 15 minutes of the
right. So we got the kind of the full length. There's a whole mishap with the thing. They don't show it in the trailer, obviously, but she gets on the thing, and then Omega kind of is on the ship, and then falls off the ship, and it's a whole thing. I'm sorry, Omega. I'm sorry.
Omega.
There's these crab things that are very terrifying, but also very colorful. Just beautiful planet, gorgeous, imagery,
that's my water
on a surface level. The animation has somehow stepped up again.
Oh,
gorgeous
really
show.
clear.
So many gorgeous
nice.
shots.
Yeah, I just redo the whole Clone Wars in that animation.
Please.
Oh, imagine.
It's going to cost a lot of money, but
I forget sometimes about the evolution of the animation, and I was watching the supercut of every single Mon Mothma clip, live action and animated, the other day, and it started off with the Clone Wars and some of the earlier seasons of the Clone Wars, and the Mon Mothma version there, I'm just like, what am I looking at? Is this an animatic from a
couple months ago, I rewatched the Clone Wars movie again, as one does. It's a great movie.
And
I was like, oh my god, this looks so bad. Is this a video game?
I just listen to it. Listen to it. I don't watch it.
So if you follow me on TikTok, T-66 is right there. I made a video because I also watched the Clone Wars. I'm getting one of my coworkers into Star Wars very slowly. It's been a long process because getting people into Star Wars 10 years ago is not the same as getting people into Star Wars now because there's so much going on. We were watching the Clone Wars movie, and I was looking in the background of one of the Dooku shots in Tatooine, and there's an Obi-Wan Kenobi model with an alien's head on. I forgot what alien it was, but I was dumbfounded. I was like, what is going on?
I remember.
I'm so confused.
It's a reuse. It's a reuse up there. I can't forget the name of the thing. It's the dudes with 6 eyes and like a snout. It's just like that head put on top of Obi-Wan's body, and Obi-Wan is there standing in the palace, and you're like, "What is this?"
You're like, "Huh?"
Oh, jeez, man.
I wish I could
great movie.
Great movie. Because I would play it right now and be like, "What the hell?" I literally was like, "What the hell?"
Yeah, like the lip syncing, just like you know, it's just like their mouths are moving. Like it doesn't have to match the words. It was just like, "Oh, may the force be with you." It's just like, not great.
It was.
We got next up. We got the trailer. We got. I'm just running through this. We got. Okay, I did not have Wanda Sykes in Star Wars on my 2022. So here we go. I am down.
What? She suits
as soon as I heard her voice, I'm like, I know that.
I don't know. Something about her calling the Bad Batch juicy does something to me. I'm like, huh?
I just love Omega juicy. Just going, hi. Hello.
Hello.
So amazing.
God, give me more elderly black women in Star Wars. Not that Wanda Sykes is like
her like
she's not young.
Yeah, her like character model looks just like the actress too. So something.
Yeah, you're right.
It looks just like her.
By the way, Dan Grievous,
Andor season 2.
Grand is the name.
Okay.
Oh yeah,
okay.
Malastarian.
Dan Grievous, what a cool guy.
Malastarian,
cool guy to know. What was I about to say? I mean, big ups to these to Star Wars creators and storytellers adding these people of color into their stories and not listening to the countless people on Twitter and Instagram always accusing somebody of pushing an agenda. Big ups to them. They said, "Oh, y'all thought we was pushing an agenda? Oh, you ain't seen nothing yet." And it's been amazing.
And dang, they ruined the Bad Batch with wokeness now. They just God.
They put Wanda, the Wanda Sykes, a black lesbian in Star Wars. How dare they?
Dang it! They put this whole cast of colored people and added another colored person. What is this?
How dare they? How dare?
Wow.
Absolutely.
Yeah, let's not go there. Let's not go there.
Anyway,
is she pals with Sid? Is that connection?
That's what it looks like.
Seems to be. She's hanging out.
Her character is very much giving like Sid's bestie. Like it's
that's a cool duo.
Fijoan. I forget. I think this is the character's name. Fee something.
Oh yeah, Fee, like
P-H-E-E.
I wish it was actually just Wanda Sykes.
It's just Wanda.
That character is in Star Wars now.
Let's call her Wanda Pikes. Just like change one letter.
Change one.
It's actually Wanda Pikes, and she's leader of the Pikes in the kid, actually.
She's the leader of the Pikes. Boba, season 2. Wanda Pikes.
There's just like a random dash between the one and duh.
Yeah. Wanda.
A little italicized letter over there. Wanda.
There's an accent on
Wanda. Come on.
Oh, I love it. Yes. What's next? This is so fun. I like that you're reading out.
Did you already talk about Fallen Survivor, Ordered Survivor?
Yes, we already talked about that.
Okay, I just want to let everyone know that Cal Kestis is going to marry me, and that's the end of it.
There we go.
Okay.
I'm coming to the wedding.
No.
I'll officiate.
Apparently if you ask Hannah on Twitter, I look like Cal.
Oh my God, yes.
So what I meant was I'm marrying Chad.
Exactly.
That's the next game. The next game will be Cal Kestis with a big old red beard. That's
yes.
Then I have somebody cosplay. Daddy Cal, let's go.
So we got a few more shots. We've got Echo. Actually, Dom mentioned this earlier, and I agree with him a lot. Echo's like, we have to be doing more. And I love that about Echo. I love that we're getting more, the Echo being kind of the conscience of the group, someone who's like saying, hey, which something that I was disappointed with the first season again, which is like not enough Echo content, not enough of Echo being himself and having some urgency there. The fact that he's going to be the guy that's going like, yeah, dudes, we can't just survive. We got to become rebels. We got to get involved. Yeah. I hope Echo like doesn't let this go and like continues to like berate Hunter until they become part of the Rebel Alliance.
So question, Echo's, I have the Echo hot toy and the Black Series figures, and both of them come with like little attachable arm things like this.
Yeah.
Do we think we're gonna see that or not? Because I think they're
so confusing.
Never say never.
I think they're just trolling us with those. and I just have like this little plastic thing of like arms for my Echo hot toys, and I'm just never gonna use it.
Maybe it was a cutscene in season 1 that they just didn't. It was like there's a bunch of attachments. You're like, oh, we're gonna get, and there was like a 3PO arm in there too. Like
he's got like a real protocol droid arm. He's got like that grappling thing. He's got a hammer fist. Yeah, which is super cool.
A hammer fist?
Yeah, wow. It's like literally like a hammer. It like goes up and down. It's it's pretty awesome. But it's like, granted, animation's made like 3-4 years before it like airs. So like all this stuff could have been from upcoming seasons like this season. So possibly.
That's true.
Yeah, it's this season.
Cool.
I hope so. I hope
so, because I spent $200. I spent $300 on him, and I got these extra parts that I don't use.
You need to just take all the parts, just a celebration, and just like wait in line at the Q&A. Mr. Filoni, what is this?
Next celebration, because I'm not randomly showing up to London.
Not that we know of. Wink,
highlight.
wink.
Yeah. You kind of said that about another convention recently.
I'm sorry.
Yeah, but that other convention was in another state, not halfway across the world.
That's a different.
Talk about how you're not going to be at a celebration. Not a single person.
Never.
Okay. Never again.
No. I mean, last year we certainly did not believe you weren't coming. I just I was like,
that's how I roll. Just randomly show up.
Oh, I love it. I love it.
That was wild. Okay, so furthermore, in the trailer, we got some more, as I said, troopers. We got the War Mantle troopers. We got this giant like walker, it's like a praying mantis walker thing. Like, what's going on with this?
What the hell was that?
I'm very confused.
Zillo Beast. How was that?
I don't think it's the Zillo Beast. Well,
is it going to fight the Zillo Beast?
The technology.
I think it's going to fight the Zillo Beast. It's going to be a Zillo Beast mech. There's going to be
leave it to Filoni to do a Mecha Godzilla versus Godzilla fight.
The Japanese movies. They do it all the time in the Power Rangers. What are they called?
Megazords.
Yeah, Megazord. Or
not you think the Bad Batch got Megazords?
Do it. Give us a monster versus mech battle.
Is it a vehicle? Is there someone in the top of it?
It looks
like a giant
walker,
droid?
like an actual like vehicle. Unless it's like some kind of like
R2.
It's
R2 making an appearance. R2's had enough.
The top pops open and it's like Chopper piloting it.
Our favorite.
Someone mentioned, speaking of Fallen Order, it looks kind of like the Temple Guardians in Fallen Order a little bit. It's kind of the same head shape of like a slender head with the little thing on top.
Yeah, I get that.
So
it looks Zepho from
Fallen
Order.
Zepho, yeah.
Well, I mean, look, we already got the planet, the junk planet from Fallen Order in Bad Batch season 1. So can we get some more tie-ins?
Yeah,
I mean, I'm still not ruling out that we could get Cal Kestis in there.
He's got to show up somewhere else.
Please.
Some point. It's got to happen
at some point. In the Luke Skywalker Academy TV show that's coming out in a couple of years, that I just keep hoping that happens.
I was like, what are you talking about?
It's not happening, but there needs to be a thing.
That
needs to be a thing.
The Sebastian Stan show.
Yeah.
No, it's whoever's doing Luke now. After Mandalorian and Boba Fett, I don't want Sebastian Stan. I want whoever's doing it now. I don't care about Sebastian Stan. You hear that, Bucky?
So they released the air dates and all the titles for the entirety of season 2 on StarWars.com. We'll get to that in a few minutes. But one of the episodes, episode 13, is Pabu. Like, what is this? Pabu?
Pabu.
Is this
Pabu Frick?
Pabu Frick.
Pabu Frick.
Is it Babu's brother?
It's Babu's
Babu's
there is another
dad. It's Babu Frick's dad, actually.
Hey, that was the best part of that movie. Okay, listen.
There's a lot of good parts.
I'm watching this movie all emotional because Leia's about to pass away and Carrie Fisher's already gone. I'm like, oh my God. And then this house Chewie, like, what the heck? And then Babu Frick is like, hey. I'm like,
let's go.
This is sadness is the best
Star Wars movie ever.
Here's how to win here's how to win an online argument every time. If anyone says, oh, Rise of Skywalker sucks, like that's a terrible movie, just say Babu Frick. It gave us Babu Frick.
Yeah,
you can't say it sucks. Okay, you're wrong. It's a great movie.
You said Pabu. You said Pabu, Ben, with such gusto that sounds like you know a Pabu or you have seen Pabu.
I know.
No, I was wondering
is
the giant. Maybe the giant robot is Pabu. Maybe that's
too cute of a name to call a giant.
No,
we don't know this robot. It's so cute.
Hello, Pabu. Hello.
I know a Pabu, but it's in the Avatar: The Last Airbender universe, not Star Wars. And he's
also Dave Filoni.
I mean,
and he's a little ferret.
Appa, Appo, Pabu.
Yeah. That's true.
I mean, there's an Aang. Like, I'm pretty sure like a clone trooper's named Aang.
There's an Aang too, and he has the arrow on his.
No, that was Appo.
Oh, that was Appo. Okay.
Yeah, there's
that's
right.
Appa, as in Commander Appo.
Yeah.
Commander.
Who also has an arrow on his head.
There's also a Senator Aang, like Chris was just mentioning.
That's right. I forgot about
he was
Senator Aang. That's right. That's the dude from Raxus, isn't it?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah.
And then
no, that's Senator Singh. Sorry.
Okay.
It's Singh Aang. Oh, jeez. Okay.
I only saw the Mon Mothma parts of those episodes. Everything else I didn't because they weren't in the supercut.
Not Chris being a Mon Mothma stain.
Oh wait, no, it wasn't Aang. Hang on, who Senator Aang like betrayed? Like, didn't she poison like the Greedo looking guy?
No, he was. So Padme was getting ready for a dinner party for him.
Oh no, that was the Jamaican guy that liked the Jogan fruit.
Yeah.
That was
I don't know if he was Jamaican because we never heard him talk.
Yeah, Senator Aang we need Jogan fruit for Senator Aang because he has to eat.
Yes.
Yeah, that's yes.
And then he sends
Great
the
episode.
two
One of the
most
top.
competent yet somehow incompetent droids at the same time. I don't know how two of the most competent droids in the galaxy can also be the two most incompetent.
That was a top tier episode. That's like easily top
I
five.
remember thinking at the
Actually,
end of
number
that
one.
episode, I was like, at the end of that
Mandalorian.
episode, I was like, these two are going to carry the Death Star plans in 20 years.
Just remember, R2 cared more about getting us going to a spa than taking care of 3PO. He's a selfish, you know what. That episode scarred me forever. Anyway, back to the Bad Batch.
Yes, what we're saying.
So we got a lot of Venator action in here. I know there's one shot of one like in a dock. There's another one where the Batch are kind of like infiltrating one that's kind of these seem to be decommissioned or whatever else, which they've done before. I think there's Rex in there, but he's not wearing clone armor. He's wearing kind of this like black and white jumpsuit, which is interesting. I don't know what's going on there.
Cute. Undercover.
Yeah. I mean, we see him at the end of the trailer. He's wearing his poncho. We love our Star Wars ponchos. So yeah, I don't know what's going on there. Yeah, and then I was going to the thing we got. Oh, see, this is something I remember from the Celebration trailer. We have Cody and Crosshair at the Republic military complex on Coruscant. For those who don't remember, there is a giant wall of Geonosian like rock that they put in front of the complex to like remember the Battle of Geonosis, and they put all the clones that died, like all of their names are on it, and they're standing in front of it. I remember that from way back, and then Ahsoka like ran along top of it in that one great episode of Clone Wars. So now it's back, and we're still here, and and then you see this great line between Crosshair. They're all traitors like the Jedi.
Again, a great Crosshair impression there, Ben. I am so impressed with you.
I keep thinking Crosshairs.
Don't encourage. Do not encourage. How dare you?
That's okay. When my coworker and I were watching Phantom Menace, I kept doing my Nemoidian impression. Like while they were talking, he was like,
"You do a good Nemoidian."
Hey, at least it's not Ben Hart, the Star Wars gentleman. So
don't tempt me again. Do not tempt me.
Let's just do an episode one day where we're just doing impressions for like 30 minutes.
The top hat is right there. Okay, I can reach it. Okay,
put up
don't
the top hat.
Go there.
The top hat.
I'm trying to keep this thing together.
Anyway, Bad Batch.
Bad Batch.
Bad Batch.
Yeah, and just get us back on top. Just somebody say Bad Batch. That'll
Coruscant.
Shock us back into
Cody. Coruscant Cody. Geonosian.
So Cody's gray now, gray and white. He's lost the yellow. So I don't know what that signals. But again, like you watch this scene, and Crosshair again is like they're all traitors, and I'm like Cody looks at him like. I'm not sure about that. I'm not sure.
Yeah. It's like, ooh. It's like, yikes. Not teaming up with this guy.
When you have that one friend that takes it too far, you have that one friend that takes a joke too far, you're like, oh.
Like, oh, buddy. See, and then the next scene after that will be he's like got a comm link. I was why no he picks up the phone.
Imagine Coruscant having landlines.
Hello there.
Like a coil coming out. Rex. I don't know why I sound like Sean Connery.
Hello.
But yeah, anyway, he calls Rex. This is where I think Rex is gonna like come in, and I think when Rex is like, I need you to do a favor for me, guys. And then I feel like the favor is gonna be go get Cody and go save Cody from Crosshair being unhinged.
Yeah. I like that idea.
Well, and speaking of Crosshair, the next shot in the trailer is Crosshair sniping a droid on an AAT droid tank. So, like, what's going on there? The droids are back. Apparently, there's some droid action. We got battle droids in both the trailers. You realize that, right? We got Jedi Survivor and the Bad Batch trailer both have.
Somehow the Separatists returned.
A lot of B1 action. But that's cool. And then the next shot. Okay, this is wild. So there's Trandoshans. The return of the Trandoshans again.
Love them.
He's in a forest with a flamethrower, like burning everything. And then we've got some more shots of Trandoshans in Separatist tanks appearing to take Wookiee prisoners on Kashyyyk.
That's so rude.
Are we in fact, because for those who've been following the Bad Batch story since the beginning, we know from way back in the day when Bad Batch was just going to be a few arcs of Clone Wars, there was going to be a Kashyyyk Wookiee arc. They were going to go help out the Wookiees, do something. Maybe they're repurposing that story and bringing it back, and maybe the Bad Batch will end up on Kashyyyk doing some post-war shenanigans.
Could be like you're saying, Ben, but like that happens in universe. Like you could be like, all right, remember when we were here helping you out, and we're coming back to help you out again, or something like that. Where they mention it that it happened.
Well, it's like
we assume what happened between Boba Fett and Cad Bane.
I was just about to say, like that whole thing of like. Remember that time we were buddies, we met in Clone Wars, and you trained me? It's like, no, Boba Fett and Cad Bane, we don't remember it. None of us saw that. None of us, those episodes literally weren't released.
Everybody who didn't watch the terrible animatics, what are you talking about?
The what?
Wait a second.
My dad, every time I have to explain something to him that wasn't in the movie, because he doesn't listen and doesn't watch the shows. He wants to watch the Ahsoka show and proceeded to ask me who Ahsoka was. Sir, you took me to see the movie when it came out in 2008. What do you mean, who is Ahsoka?
Yeah, one of my all-time favorite moments of me trying to explain Star Wars to my parents, who are big fans of The Mandalorian, but I remember the Jedi episode of Mandalorian had just come out. They had not seen it, and I had, and I'm like, oh yeah, and there's this character called Ahsoka Tano that shows up in this episode, and my mom immediately, just without hesitation, goes, Ahsoka, who's he?
I mean, that is okay. In her defense, that was originally a male name 2,000 years ago.
Not 2,000 years ago.
So she apparently remembers that part of history, but not Star Wars.
I mean, I can't unlearn it. It's always Ahsoka to me, but yeah.
It's always Ahsoka to me. Wow.
Oh, Ahsoka to me. I'm not doing that.
Bad batch. Anyway,
Bad batch. What? I totally forgot what we were up to.
Okay, so we are up to Kashyyyk.
This is why they split up.
Kashyyyk.
Okay,
Okay,
this is why we got split up right here.
I want to see two characters that I think that could show up is the two guys from the episode where the Trandoshan kidnap Ahsoka.
Wookiee Hunt.
Wookiee Hunt, yes. And that girl dies, but the two guys, the two male Padawans that is with Ahsoka, they get saved and they go like back to the temple. I want to see if they escaped. If Gunji escaped, maybe they escaped as well. Omir and Jinx.
Yes.
The guy I love. This is one of my other favorite voices. Ahsoka, what are we going to do? That guy. It's like he was so dismal and just in a pit of despair.
I love the line where it's like, if we're going to fight them, I say we go down with a fight. And we're gonna die. I think we go down with a fight. And he's like, "That's suicide." I'm like, "Well, why not? You're gonna die anyway. What do you care? You coward! Just go fight him."
So
he wants to die lazily, and honestly, I kind of get it. Like, if I'm gonna die anyway, you want to waste my time doing all this? Absolutely not. Absolutely not. Some people don't want to go out with a bang, okay, and that's okay.
What happens if Gunji's not the only youngling from that youngling arc?
Yeah.
That is
He
still
better
alive?
not be, because let me tell you something. If he is,
But I mean, one of them.
me and Filoni, fine.
Well,
if the rest of the Padawans are dead, me and Filoni are squaring up.
Well,
I'm gonna punch
one
you
of
in the
them.
face.
One of them's definitely part of Hondo's crew. The girl.
Katuni, yeah.
Katuni,
The one with the cold. The one that just had a running nose.
Listen, she was on Ilium.
be with you.
Yeah, and she kept. It's like,
Ilium
man,
is a cold planet,
her
okay?
tissue, man. Yeah, it's
cold
perfect.
planet, all right? It's just frozen. Now it's destroyed.
Yeah.
Now it's turned into a super weapon.
Thanks to Poe and his bandits, it's destroyed.
Okay,
I
so
still think they're alive. So anyway,
yeah, well,
continue.
that's
Bad
no, that's fine. Because it does. I mean, that directly relates to the trailer. We just haven't gotten to that shot yet. Keep jumping ahead. Next couple shots, we got this like red looking planet. That's like there's some kind of people that are not doing so well. It looks the architecture kind of looks like Raxus, but not the background. So like I don't know what's going on there. But they're kind of talking about, hey, we have to help people, and their people seem to be needing help. So
those kind of couple of shots there looked a little bit like some. It just reminded me of Rebels. It looked very Star Wars Rebels to me. And even there was a character, a shot of a character like turning around, and like her, their like head. They had like a little hood on, but it's like just on their head. It's like that's very Rebels. That's very Lothal. Not that I think that's Lothal, but yeah, just something about it looked very Rebels to me.
Right. And could it be Kessel? Kind of looks kind of Kessel-y.
Oh, yeah. Oh, that's a good one.
Kind of red.
14 parsecs. 12.
We're nailing the impressions today.
Yeah, just all over the place, Okay, now, Chad. Now we're at the part where you can talk about Gunji again.
Sorry.
I won't yell.
Gunji, my boy. Everybody's favorite Jedi.
But he's got a gun.
Padawan.
He's got a gun. Wookiee with a
Gunji
gun.
has a gun.
But then he's like
Gunji with a gun.
Then he's Gunji.
Nailed it, Ben. Nailed it. You
Way
really
to go, Ben.
added,
You did it. You did
you
it.
added such great
I had an original
thoughts
thought.
to that joke
I'm logging off.
that Chris just made.
But then he's got his wooden lightsaber back. I think it's the same lightsaber he built in the Gathering. And yeah. He's not happy, and he's still little. He's still a little Jedi, but yeah, like the fact that it's taken this long for any Jedi to show up in the Bad Batch is kind of surprising. And I didn't expect Gunji to be the first one.
I mean, it's after what happened with Rebels. Remember when they were like, "This is going to be the first Star Wars show that's not about Jedi," and then half the characters end up being Jedi.
10 minutes into the second episode. Oh, that's
You give
Jedi.
the two main characters a Jedi role, and then one of them wields a lightsaber.
And it's funny. I think Andor was like the first show that didn't capitalize on that. They weren't like,
they finally did.
there's no Jedi or anything in this show. Like, and then there was no Jedi, but they just.
And yet everybody's looking at Luthen's staff and being like, Jedi?
It's a lightsaber. It's a lightsaber. No, it's a stick.
It's just a stick.
Can you see a light on that thing? Come on.
Yeah.
But
Solo out
yeah,
here, like,
Gunji.
being like, oh, it's got no
I
Jedi.
about lost my damn mind in Celebration.
Yeah.
We saw Gunji.
That's awesome.
So good.
Gunji. I was on the plane going home, and then I got off the plane. I was like, what is going on?
Do you mean Gunji?
I was
Gunji.
That's
I'm logging
my
off.
kid.
I have to go. I have to go. I have to go.
Oh, I love it.
Speaking of guns, Wrecker is out here. He shoots down a V-wing. He's out here with a rocket launcher, shoots down a V-wing, which is cool. I like the inclusion of the V-wings. I love their continued use because they're very different, but also very close to the TIE Fighter, which is kind of design, which is really cool.
What's a
else?
V-wing?
What else? There's some seemingly a V-wing is like the spear-shaped ones, and they have the wings
it's shaped like a
out.
V.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, like you've got two kind of corner ships facing that way.
Hannah,
like they're barely in Revenge's death.
Time out, Hannah. You're on a computer. You're talking.
Yeah, actually,
to
let me.
I assume you have the internet on this computer.
I didn't want to say anything.
Google is a thing.
Oh, I know this ship. Yeah. I know this one.
Do you?
Anyway, back to the Bad Batch trailer.
Yes, the education of Hannah Raeside. It's always good.
You know what I just realized? It's the wings that are shaped like a V. Is that why the X-wing? Okay.
Yeah, because the wings are an X-wing.
I thought it was. I was like, so look.
You know why
the alphabet does not exist in the Star Wars galaxy. What is this?
No, because I thought the whole ship was like supposed to be the letter. I don't know, but then it's the wing, so it's just the wing, the V wing.
Arabesh is like a special edition thing, right? Or like a later edition thing? Because it was in the original cut of Star Wars. Wasn't there our alphabet on the screens?
Yes,
I think so.
I don't know,
but it's not canon.
I don't know.
Anyway,
I have no
what
idea.
about
so what they should have done is they should have renamed the X-wing to whatever that letter is in Arabesh for X.
So
but they screwed up.
They said because the B wing, which never looked like a B to begin with.
I mean, we know what the A
wing.
We know what the A wing and the B wing are. That there are a wing and Besh wing. That's pretty obvious.
Besh wing.
Besh wing. The B wing is the Besh wing.
It's pretty obvious
because that's what a B is in Star Wars.
This conversation is getting dumber by the second. We have to move on. There's a big creature thing that somebody's literally grabbing by the horns. I don't know what's going on there. Somebody's fighting it and then they're shooting it. And there's droids exploding. There's Cody and he's out. He looks like on the same like Kessel planet thing. He looked kind of like Geonosis, weirdly. That's also another. Could we see Geonosis? Could this be Death Star related? I don't know.
I mean, honestly, hot take should have been the first planet the Empire destroyed.
Well, so I've had this theory for a very long time, and I think it might have gotten disproven at some point. But I used to think that the clone commander on Geonosis that Yoda talks to was Commander Cody. But I think that got disproven.
Around the survivors, a perimeter create.
Yeah,
but then they retconned the dude that Mace talks to is Pons on Geonosis.
Yeah,
right.
Really?
I think
I love that.
I think in the like the reinvasion of Geonosis, like Obi-Wan and Kenobi is having a conversation.
Yeah.
And he was.
Did you say Obi-Wan and Kenobi?
Yes, Obi-Wan.
Yeah, Obi-Wan and Kenobi.
yeah, because Cody asked him if he was on Geonosis.
Yeah, and he was like, I haven't been.
And then they got on broke my theory. It ruined my theory, and I was so mad.
Then they got on different gunships.
Yeah.
Why not?
Yeah.
Anyway.
So we don't know who that clone was now. We don't
know. Speaking of Cody, we have some dialogue from Cody. He says, what does he say? Captions, help me out here. Says, we are not the enemy. The Empire seeks to establish peace and order throughout the galaxy. And then we have another character who is brand new, I'm assuming. Their name is Tawny Amez. And they say, peace. Peace was never an option. Nice. I thought at first when I heard that, I'm like, peace is a lie. I thought they were going to say that, but as in the Sith code,
is a lie.
Which ironically we see the next shot.
The Sith.
The next shot is good old Sheev.
Yep, that was an awesome shot.
And Masameda. Yeah. We got some Masameda action in there too. And the Senate, the Senate showing up for like the 5th time this year. Imperial Senate awesome. Is all over the place in here.
Give me more Senate content.
It'll show up. But it'll only be a pan shot for 8 seconds.
Yeah, it'll be like
season.
It'll be very far away, and you can't see who's on actually, like who's in the middle. You'll see him rise up, and then it'll pan away, and then you'll be like,
you'll see Mon Mothma. You'll see Mon Mothma resisting the urge to slap the out of her husband.
That's why it says parent at the end.
Yes.
If Mon Mothma, listen to me. If Mon Mothma and her husband were black, he would be out the door already. Out the door. We don't. No. Gambling addiction alone, absolutely not. Get out.
And finally, we got some stuff blowing up. Bail Organa's back again.
Let's go.
He never showed up in Andor, but he got Tales of the Jedi, and now he's in this.
Yeah. I'm ready for, like, as much as it's exciting for Bail Organa to show up in things, I'm ready for his character to move on from just the worrisome mentor in the background that's like, are you sure it's the right thing to do? I feel like that's all he's said in every time we've seen Bail that isn't Kenobi. Well, even in Kenobi he was a little like that. Like, I would like to see Bail actually, what he gets up to. What is he actually working on? How is he maybe trying to conduct some secret work? I don't know. I feel like I want to see him in a bit more of a practical role to be not just be
where is he in the grand scheme of Andor? Like, I feel like Andor positioned Mon Mothma to be alone. He's not supposed to have a lot of allies. She's supposed to kind of be on her own. I get why Bail didn't show up in season 1, but going forward, they have to be. I mean, we know that like Mon Mothma is going to Bail and Rogue One going like, hey, your friend, the Jedi, she's in on it. She even knows maybe what's going on with the Skywalkers. Like she's that farther into it. So I want to see Bail. I agree with you. I agree. Like Bail, he's been lurking around in the background too long. Give him some agency. Give him some things. I like what they did with them in Rebels, but he kind of shows up for here and there. And he's like, oh, I'm doing Rebel stuff, but give him something to do.
Absolutely. Should be good.
And like Dominic talked about, Coruscant looks amazing. You have to.
That's what excited me the most.
Stop it just at the right time. You can see kind of down into the underworld, And it's amazing. Lights, everything reminds me of going back to Attack the Clones. You know, it's great.
Yeah, there were some scenes that were very reminiscent of like ships flying and stuff that remind me a lot of Attack of the Clones.
I really hope they have just a 1 second moment of like a ship like Zam Wessel's ship.
Yes, I love that sound. That is one of the best sounds in Star
really
Wars.
want that sound again.
Amazing design. Yeah. So use that.
I'm good at vocal impressions. I can't do ship impressions.
Well, I was gonna say we need to do ship sound impressions.
No,
that's mine.
We do not have time for that.
I used to do a really good Slave 1, and now I can't do it. I don't know how. I used to be able to do it really good. Now I can't.
Do you mean Boba Fett's?
I'm my bad. Boba Fett's starship. So I used to do very good of
Boba
the off
starship,
fire spray gunship.
Your SJW card has been
Boba
He flies.
Anyway,
that's illegal.
I used to do a really good one of that.
Okay, we're turning you in. All right.
That's my cue, folks.
Oppression.
Joe Biden's going to show up at your house and turn and like take you in because you said the slave 1 word.
I for a second there, I forgot you were all American, and I was like, why would Joe Biden show up? Like he's half a planet away. Why would he rock up here? And I was like, oh no, wait, that's your country, right?
We're over here.
Yeah, Hannah, we all sound
Hannah opens the door like, Joe Biden, what are you doing here?
What the hell? You got no jurisdiction here. Actually, what's that quote? It's like Theoden in Lord of the Rings. You have no power here. Oh man. Anyway. Wow. What a show.
Oh my god. Okay, Sereno is in the show. The Bad Batch are in Dooku's palace on Sereno. What do we think of that?
What is even happening there? Because Dooku's been dead a long time.
Dooku corpse reveal.
I have a theory about this.
Yeah.
Theory. So going back to the recently released air dates and episode titles on February 8th, we will be getting episode 7, The Clone Conspiracy, and episode 8, Truth and Consequences. Well, who was communicating with Lama Su and the cloners about the clone conspiracy? Well, it was good old Darth Tyrannus himself. Maybe there's a through line in the season, or at least one plot point where they're trying to uncover the truth of Order 66, kind of pick up where 5's left off and go, which is something again gives Echo some closure about 5's and all that. Like that was never really addressed.
Are you saying that Dooku forgot to clear his browser history before he died? Because the guy knows how to like clear the history of the Jedi Temple, but not his hometown.
Hey,
he was
in his.
But I was using private browser.
In his defense, he didn't know he was gonna get beheaded. All right, no one goes through an invasion and plans to get beheaded. So in his defense,
yeah,
he had that look on his face right before Anakin did it, like he was gonna tell Anakin something like, that's Sidious over there. No, he was just gonna say, delete my browser history.
Oh man. Well, hey, before we get any further, I do have to go. I didn't want to leave mid-conversation, but I do have to go because
worries.
I've been up since.
Plug your show, Jordan.
Okay, so we have a show called Tales from Beyond the Galaxy. We're doing mostly streaming right now. We're going to start working on little skits and like reaction videos and stuff for YouTube. You can find us on YouTube at Tales from Beyond the Galaxy. I know that's a mouthful. I'm so sorry, but I'm not. You can also find us on Twitch, Tales from Beyond the Galaxy. Instagram, very same thing. I work with 2 of the best people on the planet, other than myself. Obviously, I'm like number 1. They could be like number 2 and 3. Okay. And we just have a fun time. And it's been streaming Fallen Order in preparation for Fall. I keep wanting to say Fallen Survivor. That's not what it's called. Jedi Survivor. And I will probably be doing some Bad Batch reviews getting ready for Bad Batch next month. We will see. So yeah, check us out on Twitch and YouTube.
Awesome. Thank you, Jordan.
Thank you for letting me crash. It's gonna happen again in the future.
Another happy landing.
At some point.
Another happy landing. All right, guys. Peace.
Bye, Jordan.
Bye.
Well,
Is that the whole trailer, Ben? Did we get it all in?
Okay, one second. There's a little bit more.
I feel like there was one more. Yeah.
There's a hunter in a thing fighting those droids, and then we get good old Captain Rex again at the end of the thing, and he wants the batch for another mission.
I love that, like how they're out of their armor in that look.
Yeah, I just noticed that. You're right.
I think that's their undershirts or their undersuits that they have. Because also I just like the idea that like Hunter takes off his like scarf, takes off his armor, and then puts back on the scarf too. He's like, I need to look fashionable as I take off my armor. Come on. But yeah, I think that's their undersuits now, because I mean they don't have the Republic ones anymore.
Yeah. So that's really cool. I like the diversity. I like the juxtaposition of like the Bad Batch. They already had customized armor, but it was kind of gray and gritty. Now they're getting kind of more colorful, and even Omega has like some really cool armor and a helmet, stuff like that. It juxtaposed to all the other clones having nothing but white. Even Cody, who used to be this guy with this really, I've always loved Cody's design of yellow and white.
Wait, I got a question. Wait, I got a question about this. I always thought that the color of the 212 was orange. And I'm kind of, my mind's been blown a little bit today, because you keep saying yellow, and I'm like, no, that's like the Star Battalion. That's like Bly's group is like yellow gold, but like Cody, I thought that was orange. Am I crazy? Am I the only one who thinks it's orange?
Ben's wrong. You're right. You're right. No,
no. I've never wrong.
He's yellow.
Cody is like a creamsicle orange. Like he's like creamsicle.
Yeah, it's a creamy orange, but it's not.
Yeah, he's not. Yellow.
I've never heard it being called yellow before, so I'm like, wait, what's going on?
Yellow? You've never heard.
Okay.
No.
Okay. Fair enough. For once in all the podcast history, you got me. I am wrong about something. You got me. It's actually orange. I don't know why I said.
I mean, we all do see colors.
It's kind of a yellowish orange, okay?
It's a orange.
Yeah, I never thought you were wrong. I just thought, well, maybe our eyes work differently, because there's certain things like blue and green. Like people like there's a lot of space between the two, and people sometimes blue green gets put in either category.
Colorblind? Oh my god.
Yeah, I was like, is this the podcast where we all discover?
You have more rods than I have more cones.
If you Google Commander Cody, some of these look yellow. Like some of these straight up look yellow. Like the Lego minifigure looks yellow.
That's because the figure, the Legos like fade over time.
Yeah, come on.
In the sun.
So if you put your Cody in the sun,
Ben, you're wrong this time.
Don't keep your.
I get the Lego part. That's Lego's fault. So it's Lego's fault for confusing everybody.
He's not yellow or orange anymore. He's gray, or is he blue? Is he blue or gray? Is the dress blue or gray?
It was it's gold. No, it's gold. It's gold.
Hannah has no idea what we're talking about. Does she?
That's an older meme, but it checks out.
It's no to mean so, but it checks out.
Anyway,
and to the best part of the trailer. The best part of the trailer. Parents, the Bad Batch.
Parents.
I still can't get over that. I totally did not catch that at all.
It's not on the Disney Plus one. It's probably not going to be on yours for like the international ones, maybe. But
I think I watched the Portuguese one, or whenever I Google things, like the Brazil comes up first for some reason.
Cover all the bases up here in North America, all the weirdos.
Sure. We've got some super chats about things. Like Joel recently had one saying he has a criticism of the Bad Batch trailer is that he gets no idea what the story of the season is. Just more Bad Batch adventures and run-in with Cody. I feel like that's been the case with all of the Filoni related and then Filoni descended stuff. that's animated. It's like they don't really have stories because we kind of already know what the story is. Like they're fighting the Empire. That's the story.
Yeah, I mean, I also I don't want to like watch a trailer and be like, oh, that's what they're doing in the story. Like I want to be surprised while watching the story. So like, I'm kind of glad that like it's like here's some cool things that's happening in the show, and then that's about it.
And
like
then,
I'm not specifically talking about Joel here, but like there is like this, you can say, oh, I want more story in the trailer, but then you piss off people that are like, I don't want spoilers in the trailer. I don't want to know about the story. Yet they gave the whole story away in the trailer. But
yeah. And then also, this is an interesting question posed by Joel a while ago. Do we think this is the last season? So far, nothing says this is getting a third season. It might be possible, but I have my doubts. I know Dominic said recently he didn't think that the show would last much longer as well, based on how it's going.
This show's lasting forever. We're getting new Bad Batch episodes for the next 30 years.
I feel like they have too much space to work with to end it so soon. Like the Clone Wars, like you got to end it at some point because there's only a few years to work with for the Clone Wars. But like Bad Batch could go all the way to A New Hope, or at least to the beginning of Rebels, and we're really far off from the beginning of Rebels.
See, I don't know. It depends like what they do with the show, I guess. Like where it like if they start killing off members, which I hope they don't, but they're gonna age up, and like Omega's a child, like she ages normal. So you could just literally be like, well, the Bad Batch is done now. Here's the Adventures of Omega. Like the batch, they went on and lived on Cut's farm here, but now the rest of them are like hanging out, and here's the Omega like going through the galaxy herself.
Yeah, I can see. Yeah, it's kind of rough because it's like I feel like it has the potential to keep going on for years, and like the stories can just develop to be such rich stories. But I do worry. The only thing that's making me a little worried is how little I feel like emphasis or concern or just attention they're giving it. Like the fact that we got such a large pushback of the timeline of the release date. And then they only told us, like, I felt like the last minute they told us, oh, by the way, it's going to change. And then even now, like, we're 3 weeks away from it, and like we're only just gotten the trailer now. It's like I feel like they're not putting as much energy into it. But maybe they're testing the waters. Maybe they're testing how badly audiences want to see this. But I'm rooting for this season to be very successful, and if I know anything about Disney, they go off what is doing well, or at least what is getting people to watch what is happening. So if this is a really well done season, which I have high hopes that it will be, I think a season 3, that could be a last season, like a season 3, because I feel like 3 seasons of a show, or they could do like Rebels 4 seasons even. I feel like maybe
the lack of
could end it.
some really good marketing for this show. I mean, we got a trailer this week. That's great, but it's it was to take a long time to get here, and then we're not seeing much else beyond that. And we got a Jedi Survivor trailer right on top of it. That's gonna kind of buzzkill on the hype there, at least for some people. It definitely is kind of scaring me. Of just like this is shaping up to be. Kind of gives me flashbacks to the lead up to Resistance season 2, of just like Disney kind of like push that away. We don't want to talk about that anymore.
Well,
because it's gonna be the last season. We just kind of shove it under the rug and forget about it.
Well, Disney is like all these shows have been marketed terribly, except for Mando season 3, which has apparently been marketed really well, if you ask me. But like about that, and Andor was marketed really well, but like the rest of them, kind of like you don't see a trailer until like a month out. You don't really get. You get like, hey, it's coming at some like a couple months later, like before you go, hey, it's coming out on this date. With this show, hey, it was coming out on this date. Hey, it's actually coming out on this date. But I like they usually like you get one trailer like forever, and then you get you get a teaser like forever ago, then you get a trailer, and then you get like the show like a month out. So for the next month, we're going to see a lot of Bad Batch, like coming in 3 weeks, like the Bad Batch, and there's going to be like all these like TV spots for it. Maybe if they do it, I don't know. It is animation, But
Yeah, it's
we
interesting.
shall see. I mean, I don't know. I don't know. I mean, we're still a month out from so they could ramp things up still, and obviously during the show while it's airing, they'll be ramping things up. But I don't know. I'm expecting a whole lot.
Yeah.
I don't know. I hope they do what they do for Willow, because like Willow's been getting loads of like trailers and stuff.
Yeah.
Like they even released like the day before the episode, like here's a sneaky peek of what's happening in that episode. And you're like, oh man, this is also a great show, by the way, Willow.
Well, actually, speaking of episodes, speaking of stuff coming out, as mentioned earlier, they just dropped all the episode titles on StarWars.com, which is unprecedented. I've never seen them do this before for a show. Like usually we find out the episode titles the night they drop, like the episode.
Yeah.
The fact that they not only confirmed how many episodes we're getting, they're telling us the episode titles, the numbers, the air dates, all the titles, everything.
Yeah, and that's really odd to me. I that feels a little bit flippant, because like you said, the whole reveal of the titles quite a big deal, and I laugh because often I'll do watch parties with my brothers, and one of my brothers is so focused on not seeing the title because it'll give too much away, and so we have to like bring it up on the screen, and he's not looking. Is it up? Did you put it up on the screen yet? And we're like, oh yeah, it's almost here. And then we've got to skip like a couple seconds in, so it pops up with the title and then goes away. And then we start. We're like, okay, you can watch now, because he doesn't want to know the title.
I want to watch with your brothers.
Committed.
This sounds more entertaining than actually watching the show.
It's so committed. It's really funny. He's so funny. But yeah, that is kind of random. They're just like, oh yeah, here's all the things that like you wanted to see, right?
Did you send that list to your brother?
No, because I was like, he can't see it. Oh my god!
Just like, hey, here, look at this. Accidentally show it to him.
If he annoys me one day,
to him, like you're like, oh hey, look, here's all the bad batch.
So here's the interesting thing about this. So, we've got 16 episodes this season. We have a 2-episode premiere on January 4th. Episode 1, Spoils of War, and Episode 2, Ruins of War. A little duology there. Then on February 8th, we will have a
spoiler alert for Din in the chat, because I don't think he doesn't want them mentioned. The title is mentioned.
Oh, I didn't see that. Oopsie.
That's so fine. Keep going. Just mute us for a second.
I won't mention the rest of them. Okay, you got the first two. And I mentioned the other ones earlier. Oopsie.
Okay. I feel
he wasn't here when you mentioned about Boba Frick's dad.
Okay, I won't mention the rest of them. They're on StarWars.com for those of you who want to know. This is the most important note, though. We have a mid-season 2-parter, February 8th. Episodes 7 and 8 will be back-to-back. And then March 29th, I was going to say the title again. Oopsie. Episode 15 and 16 will be the finale. And those titles, man, I'm not gonna say them, but they're pretty darn good titles.
I think I know where the last 2 episodes might be.
And the most important one here is the fact that Mando season 3 premieres on March 1st. Episode 11 of The Bad Batch also premieres on March 1st, and then we'll have episode 12, 13, 14, 15, and 16 running alongside The Mandalorian season 3. We'll have double the Star Wars.
Are we getting 2 episodes with the premiere of Mando like they've been doing as of late?
They haven't done that in the past for Mando, so I doubt it.
Yeah, but they've been doing now for all the Star Wars shows, or for all the Lucasfilm shows, because Willow premiered also with 2 episodes. So,
well, in my opinion, they
hope
should
not,
just
because I'm gonna have to wake up at like 2 a.m. and be late to work.
Since Mandalorian is such a short season, I hope not. Usually we get like 8 episodes.
I think it. Well, the thing is too. A lot of times the first episode of The Mandalorian is longer. Like I think the first episode of season 2 was a very long episode. Like over an
the
hour.
Marshall was a pretty
So I think really what the point is, because these are not like Netflix shows where you can just binge watch a whole season. I think the only one that was like that, Visions was like that, and Tales of the Jedi are the only ones that have been like that, the anthology ones. I think they want to make sure that people are hooked, that the hook point gets in on the first day. And so it really just depends on, is there a conclusion, a natural conclusion, and then some type of like, clue about what's happening next in, where is it? Is it at the end of the first episode, the second episode, the third episode? Because these shows, it's all over the place where it is. And I think that is really what it comes down to. I think there was 2 for Kenobi, right? I think. Was it the first 2?
Yeah,
and that's where that was.
Yeah,
and then Andor had the first 3, which makes sense because you really needed that third episode to fully get what the show was about.
And Mando always has that stinger at the end. In season 1, it was Grogu. In season 2, it was Boba Fett at the end.
Exactly.
They're always designed kind of as that. You keep watching.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Plus being a returning show, like a returning season. It's the 3rd season.
That's a good point too.
So they might not. That's what I'm wondering, because that's like a lot. I'm disappointed that they didn't do like a mid-season break. Like I was hoping for like them to stop after 8 episodes, Mando, and then pick it up until until like Ahsoka or
all right, Hannah, you seem distressed. What
I am distressed. Thank you, Ben, for recognizing it. My mental health. I'm distressed. Why are they so obsessed with Wednesdays? There's other days. There's other days. Imagine a Friday night, 9 p.m. on a Friday night premiere. It sounds kind of random, but how cool would that be? Everyone can be like, it's the weekend, I'll stay up, I'll watch this Star Wars.
So it used to be. That's a Clone Wars.
Why are they obsessed? Why are they obsessed with Wednesdays?
Well, isn't it every franchise has its own day on Disney Plus? Isn't that what it is? Doesn't Marvel have a different day?
I think it's TV episodes like drop on, or they have been dropping on. I think they changed it for She-Hulk. Originally, the idea was all the TV shows drop on Wednesday, and all the movies drop on Friday. That was the thing that I heard. But then they changed it up, and like She-Hulk started dropping on like Thursday.
Yeah, so obviously they can change it because they did it for She-Hulk.
But they're not changing in here. Like they have 2 Star Wars shows, and they're both dropping at the same time.
I don't understand.
They did the same thing with Tales of the Jedi. Okay. They could have dropped Tales of the Jedi on a Friday.
And here's the thing: I could have understood that if it was how it was originally going to be, which was airing alongside Andor, because Andor probably is going to have an older audience a bit than Bad Batch. I see a little bit of a different. There's obviously tons of overlap, but like those audiences, they're bits and pieces that aren't going to watch. But a lot of people aren't going to watch both shows because it's going to only be one person's taste. So, but I feel like Mandalorian overlaps more with Bad Batch than Andor would have. Mandalorian with Grogu and everything, I think it skews a little bit younger. I think there's a little bit more for kids and Mandalorian. And so I feel like it's kind of odd. It's almost like they're expecting people to watch just both shows, which makes sense. I mean, a lot of people will. But for people who only have time to watch one, that's a bit of an issue.
Yeah, and then that's me and waking up in the morning, and I have to choose which one not to get spoiled on. And truth be told, I'm probably going to choose the Bad Batch because I love the Batch. And as much as I love Grogu and Mando, I'm going to have to bite the bullet and either wake up at 3 o'clock or what. So
okay,
or I'll just wait until I'll wake up and then see Ben tweet out that the episodes are out, see how long they are, and then depend on what time I can wake up.
And then maybe Ben will be asleep and you won't see that tweet. Who knows?
Come on, Ben.
Ben, you say that every time. You're awake every time.
What? Look, I'm trying, okay? My bedtime's usually 2 a.m., okay? I'm trying to do better.
The thing is, you're still looking at your phone while you're in bed. You're gonna see when it drops. If you're doom scrolling through Instagram at 3 a.m., oh wait, there it is. The episode, I guess I should watch it now.
Well, I guess I don't dare put the title out with my tweet. Otherwise, some people might get angry and talk about spoilers. Jeez. Speaking of episodes of The Mandalorian, we got the Writers Guild of America has listed the writers for the season 3 of The Mandalorian. Yeah. So episodes 1 and 2 will be written by a brand new guy. I don't think you've heard of him. He's brand new to everything. Never written anything for us. John Favreau. He's going to be writing the first 2 episodes.
I think he made Iron Man.
John Favreau?
Oh, is that same guy? The guy from Swingers? Is that the guy?
Iron Man guy. The Swingers guy.
No, he's in Spider-Man. He's Spider-Man dude, right? Like he's.
Nah, it can't be him.
Are you sure?
Happy Hogan can't direct. Come on.
Wait. No, isn't he in Daredevil? He's in the Daredevil movie.
Maybe. Yeah.
He's Foggy Nelson in the Daredevil movie. Anyway,
episode 3 will be written by someone I actually do not know, Noah Kluwer and John Favreau.
He's apparently a staff writer for John Favreau, so he's like staff written a lot.
Sidekick.
He's kind of like he's like on the staff, so he's done some writing, but this is the first time he's credited.
What's going on with episode 3? That he needs a helper there. Is that a big episode?
I don't know. Maybe he wrote most of it, and then John Favreau probably touched up or whatever, or John Favreau gave him an idea and then he did whatever. I don't know how writing works.
And look, I already know what episode Ahsoka's going to show up in because episode 4 is written by John Favreau and Dave Filoni.
There we go.
And then episode 5 and 6.
The Filoni episode isn't for Ahsoka. It's for Lux Bonteri.
Yes.
Oh my
Luxy
god.
boy.
Luxoka time. They better both be in
He'll
it.
make his appearance in this show, and then he'll be like a side character in the Ahsoka show.
No. Okay, so
Are you
we got
saying that Ahsoka has a side?
Yeah, that's her side.
We
guy.
got episode 4 written by Favreau and Filoni. Episode 5 and 6 are written by Favreau. Filoni returns in episode 7 to co-write episode 7. So that's where the Bonteri and Lux romance will blossom finally.
Yeah.
I do think I know we're joking that Ahsoka's going to be in it. I do think Ahsoka.
I'm not joking.
I don't think Ahsoka's going to be in it. I don't think she is. Not because
Really?
in season in Book of Boba Fett, I almost said in season 3 of Mando and talk about Book of Boba Fett, but in Book of Boba Fett, like it sets up like when she's talking to Luke that she's gonna do her own thing, and then I think that sets up in that is what she's gonna do in her show. Which
and regardless, we got the finale written by John Favreau. Episode 8. So 8 episodes in total. Mostly Favreau, a little bit of Filoni and Noah Kluwer thrown in there. So yeah, no episode titles either. So nothing to spoil anybody. No worries.
I love it.
And also Andor got nominated for Best Drama Series, and Diego Luna got nominated for Best Actor at the Critics' Choice Awards. And yes,
I better win.
Running through the news because we don't have that much time left.
Better win. That's very good. I'm surprised. To be honest, I was surprised that Skarsgård didn't get best.
He would be supporting.
Supporting, yes. I'm surprised he didn't get up for supporting actor.
No, she didn't. I thought that Genevieve got
for that freaking.
Genevieve was pretty good. Actually, she was
under levels speech alone. He deserves all the. They should give Skarsgård an Oscar. He should be the first TV actor to get an Oscar.
Everything. Oh, it's a good one. I'm gonna memorize that one day and just perform the whole thing on the show. Just interrupt completely and just perform that whole speech. It's a good one.
That would be awesome.
Work on your Skarsgård impression.
Yeah.
Save it for next week. Okay, so we do. I was thinking. I don't know. I was gonna save this for next week, but I figure we may not have time next week. So, and this just came out today. Do we want to talk about the Acolyte photos?
Yeah, why not?
Yeah,
let's do it. There's not that many. There's only a few of them.
Yeah.
I am afraid to put them on screen because Lucasfilm may not like that. If you're watching this, you can find them online. They are on the Daily Mail.
Everywhere.
They're on our social media as long as it exists. Kathleen Kennedy may have terminated our Twitter by now because I posted them all there. Who knows? We got today some really cool Acolyte photos. I will post the link in the chat, in the YouTube chat, for anybody that wants to go look at that. Some really cool photos from. These aren't official. These are spy photos. These are photos that somebody with a long lens took. But we got Lee Jung-jae, who is apparently playing a Jedi, and we got him like hooding up and suiting up in a forest. And we got a freaking Wookiee. Is this Buryaga? Are we looking at Buryaga the Wookiee from High Republic?
Yeah,
that's super interesting.
How old do Wookiees get? Actually, I'll Google it. How old?
Like 100.
Chewie was like
150,
300 years old.
Chewie was like 250
like almost
in Rise of
200.
Skywalker.
400 standard
No, he was
years. What's a standard?
No, Chewie was like 190.
How old was Chewie when he died in the EU?
365 days. He was very.
So 400 standard years they can live to. So Buryaga, when was he around? Buryaga, it sounds like a very delicious meal I could get.
Well, High Republic and the Acolyte are pretty close in their timeline, I think.
Yes, that's what I was thinking. I'm like,
they're not really far from each other.
And
the Acolyte is supposed to be at the end of the High Republic.
Yeah.
So this could be, and Buryaga is supposed to be a young Wookiee. He's supposed to be young.
Yeah,
he's a Padawan in the High Republic, like in the original books.
Yeah.
So
yeah,
like maybe this is an older.
Robes are very. Yeah, these robes are very High Republic robes, though. Like that gold.
Yeah, super nice.
All wearing very High Republic.
They look really good.
He's got a top knot. He's got a bag. Robes.
He's got a bag. Really? That's the takeaway. He's got a bag. What's in the bag?
He's got a satchel.
What's in the bag?
Oh, dude, that's great. I love it.
I just love we're getting some Wookiee action. We're getting more Wookiees. Who's playing this Wookiee? We're getting another basketball player, maybe.
Oh my, that would be amazing. look at Doncic in it. What am I trying to say? Jedi. Yeah, okay. Right. I really wanted like a Force wielder show, and I know a lot of conversation, especially with Andor coming out. Everyone's like, "Oh, it's like good that it's not about the Jedi." It's like, yeah, I'm kind of on the other side of the other end of that wave now. And now I'm like, we haven't gotten too much Jedi. Can we get some Jedi around here? Like we had Mando. We had, Bad Batch, and we've had Andor. Granted, Mando, Ahsoka shows up, and Luke shows up, but that was a show up. That was for an episode each. But I'm really craving just some multiple Jedi interacting with each other, exploring the Force, talking about the Force, them having different ideas of what the Force is. Like I'm so keen for that in the Acolyte. I'm surprising myself with how keen I am for the Acolyte.
Well, I mean, and it looks like we're getting some Jedi. We got, Lee Jung-jae, who is like all in the gold robes, like the gold High Republic robes. Like he's full on Jedi. Or is he a Jedi? Or is he a Sith in disguise? We thought about that. I don't know. But we've got a Jedi Padawan, Dean Charles Chapman. Like he's got the rat tail and everything. Like he definitely a Jedi Padawan. We have Daphne Keene, who's got a real wicked hairdo. That's real weird. I don't know if she's a Jedi or not. It seems like she's carrying some kind of crossbow or something. I don't know.
Yeah, she's got like a bow. She's got some arrows.
Yeah, she's got a bow in one hand. She's got a quiver down here towards her belt. That's really. I just noticed that. That's really cool. And then there's a speeder. There's a ship. And there's a Zabrak lady, and there's more people with bows. So a lot of stuff going on in these photos that it's fun to see this finally. Like this is the show again that we know nothing about. Like we know what Daphne Keene said, that it's Sith focused, but like, what does that mean? And getting more just actual photos of these guys and characters. It takes me back to the days of seeing those photos from the old Royal Air Force Base in England.
Yeah,
those spy photos. And saying, "Oh, is that Adam Driver in an X-wing costume? Is he playing Ben? Is he playing Ben Skywalker? What's going on?"
I love it.
I love how it's always the English, the shows that are made in England, like being leaked, because there were so many leaks for like Andor, and then you're like, there's nothing from what's happening over in LA.
There was a ton for Mandalorian. Mandalorian had a ton of leaks in LA. I think they figured out how to fix that problem.
It's a simple fact. It's a simple fact that Mandalorian was almost filmed entirely indoors, and for Andor they had to build an entire city for it, and they really couldn't hide that very well.
You mean they had, according to the Sun, they had to ruin an English countryside for that village?
Oh, really? Oh, there was like backlash to it, right?
Remember, I remember this. The Sun is a very unreliable England newspaper.
Like they found one old guy in the English countryside. Like, what? Do you hate this? He's like, yeah, bloody hell! These stupid Star Wars ruining my countryside.
They're building a Star Wall over here. Anyway.
Oh, I love it.
I'm gonna take a brick to these people.
And that's how they got the idea for Marva being a brick.
Of course.
What if she
We got it.
So yeah, go over to the Daily Mail. I don't usually say those words. Usually wouldn't recommend going to the Daily Mail, but there's Star Wars photos over there, guys. Follow the link on our social media. Don't go anywhere else on Daily Mail because you don't know what you might see.
Don't scroll past the Star Wars photos.
Yeah, it's just like,
don't look at anything else on the website.
Harry and Meghan's. Oh God, I don't want to see anything. I don't want to know. I don't want to know about Harry and Meghan or whatever else is going on in that thing.
William and Kate.
Just go see the photo. Go see the photos on Twitter. Just type in #TheAcolyte on Twitter. You'll see all the photos. You don't even have to give Daily Mail a click.
Yeah.
But yeah, guys. Any more thoughts on these photos before we wrap this up?
I'm glad, Hannah, that you're starting to get hyped now for this show, because this is always the show that I've been the most hyped for.
Yes.
Because it's like how Andor has all that stuff about non-force wielding characters. I think it's gonna be that level of quality, but for the Jedi and for the Sith. And I think that's gonna get all the people that didn't fully get it with Andor. You'll get both the quality and the type of Star Wars that you're gonna feel the strongest. So I think that's gonna be pretty awesome.
It is very much so.
Yeah. This has got me hyped. Yeah. I seriously just this whole show and getting these photos. I mean, I always, the trailers are fun and stuff like that, but the spy photos, dude, like, is a little twinge of nostalgia, and also just like, I don't know what this is. You got to figure it all out. It's not presented, and people on Twitter really being like, that Wookiee looks dumb. I'm like, it's an unfinished thing. It's a spy photo. It's a
pixelated photo taken on like
give him a rest. Like, critique the hair on the Wookiee when it's like in 1080p. Like,
they did a great job with that.
We know one thing about that Wookiee, that it's in the Acolyte.
Yeah.
So we know.
It's there.
And that's if the scene makes it into the show.
It might not. He might not actually even be in the show.
Yeah.
It's possible they could be fooling us. It could be another Star Wars show. It could be a non-Star Wars show. Maybe they're gonna have Wookiees in the Last of Us show. I don't know. You never know these days.
Oh man, that's what the zombies turn into. It's Bigfoot.
Yeah, there needs to be like Pedro Pascal's like, oh, wrong show. What is this?
Oh,
no, I'm in another Star.
I thought it was Star Wars this day.
I love it.
Where's my helmet?
You've seen my face? No.
Why is there just a guitar here?
Oh god, I think we actually covered everything, guys.
Yeah, let's do that. We got some super chats to get to that we missed while we were talking. Joel said, from what I heard, the England and LA productions will always look and feel different aesthetically and different due to limitations of filmmaking. I wouldn't say not just limitations, but like just different styles of the people who like live and work in those areas. Like you can tell, I definitely feel like Andor is the most British of the Star Wars shows because of it being filmed during COVID. They could not fly any Americans really over there to help. So it's got like the crew is very, very British. The director's very British. And I can definitely feel, it feels a lot more like Sherlock and Doctor Who and Broadchurch. Like I thought of all three of those shows a lot while watching.
It begs the question, seeing these photos, it makes you wonder, we had the, all the volume stuff with The Mandalorian, the Book of Boba Fett, and now we got Andor, and it's kind of like, oh, there's this distinction between a quote unquote volume show and a non-volume show, an on-location show. Being that we're literally seeing photos of characters and people outside shooting stuff, what's the acolyte going to be? Is it going to be an on-location, expansive, outdoors thing? Or is it going to be a little bit of both, with, some volume shooting? I guess it just depends on what Leslie Headland wants to do. But like, I'm just curious, what is the show going to look like? Is it going to be more in line with The Mandalorian? Is it going to be Andor? Is it going to be a little bit of both? I'm personally hoping nothing against the volume, because I think people are being a little too simplifying the things like, well, this looks bad because it's the volume. Yeah, you liked the volume a few months ago. Y'all have turned anti-volume all of a sudden. Like, I don't think it's the volume that's the problem necessarily. I think it's just using it in moderation. And when you need to shoot something outside, you shoot it outside. When you can go to literally a dam in like Ireland and shoot on something and make it look real like they did in Andor, then do it. Like, that's great.
It really, I think the writing and the acting comes before the way that they do the sets. I think that is kind of important, but I think the writing and the acting comes before it, because I always think back to, when we saw Yoda for the first time, and like Yoda was a Muppet. You have a Muppet puppet in what is considered one of the best movies of all time, definitely the best Star Wars movie. And people, it totally sells that. Why? Because Mark Hamill's acting with Frank Oz and the Yoda puppet was so incredibly realistic that, you feel that it's real when it's not. And so it was the writing of the dialogue. It was the directing of Irvin Kershner, and it was the acting of Mark Hamill that made Yoda work in that movie, when Yoda hasn't even worked in some of other Star Wars. Like Episode 1, original Yoda, I don't know. Sequels Yoda, there's some moments where I don't know. But he really worked in that movie. So I think that Andor, it's not just about the real sets. I think that it's a lot to do with the writing being next level, and it has a lot to do with some of the acting performances being some of the best that's ever been in Star Wars. I think that made it feel real just as much, if not more so, than the fact that it didn't have as much volume in it.
Yeah, and none of these have to feel the same. Like, yes, Book of Boba Fett and Mando are going to feel similar because they take place at the same time. They're a connected story. None of Andor. Man, it's a good thing that Andor and Mando aren't the same thing, because if it was the same thing, it would all get like boring. Like, look at to bring it to the other Disney thing, the MCU. She-Hulk is a completely different show compared to Moon Knight,
right?
Like, and that's a good thing. Like, you have to have difference, and it's perfectly fine. And like, going back to your like Yoda thing, not just Pedro doing the voice acting, the Lateef and John Wayne's grandson, Brendan, yeah, they're three acting with the Grogu puppet sells that the character is real the entire time.
That's a good point.
In the entire time of like the first season of Mando, you're like, they got a baby Yoda, like, where'd he come from? That thing's real. No, it's a mechanical puppet, and they sell it so well, and it's like you were saying, because the acting is great.
Yeah, 100%. A few other super chats I want to get to quick. Joel's wondering why Favreau doesn't do what Andor did, more comparison there, and have different writers for every episode. Also, no Rick Fumayawa written episode. That's sad.
He's supposed to be an executive producer on this, I think.
Yeah, he's doing directing. I think he's directing a couple episodes in Ahsoka as well. So
I mean, I think also they're kind of different. So I don't really know if it's a problem that each episode doesn't have a different writer per se. And
it might be good for the through line. It might be good for the cohesion of it.
Yeah. And then Joel had a comment also about the Bad Batch. He's hyped to see Mount Tantus in season 2. We know it was in season 1, and that is a massive Heir to the Empire reference. Yeah, it'll be really interesting to see if they follow up on that scene, because that was very intriguing, and we didn't really see much of that in the trailer, did we?
No, we didn't. I won't mention the title, but there is one episode that gives me Mount Tantus vibe.
I think if it's the same ones that we're thinking, I think it's the 2. Both of those 2 episodes.
Yeah, I think you're right. Yeah.
And I do think the giant robot thing that looks like sort of like the Zillibees, I think that's on Mount Tantus. So
interesting.
Yeah.
They're cloning giant robots. That's interesting.
That is fascinating. All right. I think that'll do it for the episode. Does someone want to play the outro?
I'll do it. I'll get the outro.
For it. I'm looking.
You get it?
No, I don't have access anymore.
Is it the rock one?
Yeah. Hit it. There we go. All right. Thank you, everybody, so much for watching as well as listening on your favorite podcast apps. We want to remind everybody to subscribe to the channel. We want to thank everybody who super chatted with us and became a channel member. And I want to thank everybody who's left us a review on your favorite podcast apps. And we want to remind everybody that at the SWU is where you can follow us on social media, so you don't miss any of the breaking news throughout the week. And of course, we'll be back same time, same place with another episode next week. Chad, thank you so much for stopping by. You want to plug a show that you've been doing a lot recently with one of our friends?
A little bit, but you can find me everywhere here at the Chadalorian 7732. I changed it because I wanted to change it. Anyway, and then you can find me mostly on the Convor call whenever Corey decides to do something, and I'm also there with Aubrey, and we do a Lord of the Rings thing every once in a while whenever we want to do something. So you can find me there most of the time.
Awesome. So make sure you check that out and follow Chad on social media at Chadalorian7732. Ben, thank you so much for hosting as well.
Oh, this was an absolute pleasure, as always. Lots of stuff to break down. Big Star Wars news day, news week. I don't think we'll be discussing any news next week. And we won't be discussing a new episode of Star Wars TV. What will we be discussing? Interesting. Tune in for that. I'll just leave you those little breadcrumbs, and I'll also remind you to come to the Discord, SWU Discord Network game night tomorrow night, Friday, December 9th at 9 p.m. Eastern. We're going to be playing some Fall Guys. So whether you want to just hang out and chat, or you want to actually get in on it and fall a lot, it's going to be a lot of fun. And so, check that out. Come join us and join the SWU Network Discord anyway, even if you're not going to make that, because there's got a good conversations going on over there. So check it out. And guys, we'll see you next week.
That's right. And you can find a link to that Discord in any notes or descriptions of the episode, wherever you're watching or listening to it. And then finally, Hannah, thank you for hosting as well.
Thank you so much. What a great show discussing the amazing things of Star Wars to come. We still gotta wait just only a little bit to Bad Batch, but a little longer to Fallen Order 2. I'm never gonna catch on that it's called Jedi Survivor. It's just Fallen Order 2. But no, this is a great show. Great to be here. Can't wait for next week. It's gonna be good.
Sure. And you can check out Hannah on the YouTube channel, The Raeside, RAE Side, as well as at The Raeside at social media. And Ben, of course, is at Ben Hart with no E on social media. I'm at Seek3PO. this is how we're going to stop this confusion about Fallen Order and Survivor, and that is we need to acknowledge the fact of where the punctuation is in the series. This is the Star Wars Jedi series, and we should be calling it Star Wars Jedi.
Yes.
There's no colon between Star Wars and Jedi. It's just one big.
It's Star Wars
thing.
Jedi Fallen Order and Star Wars Jedi Survivor. It's the Star Wars Jedi series. It might take them to have 3 before we finally get that in our brains. That's what.
And the book.
And the book.
And the book.
Right.
And I think there's a comic book somewhere along the way.
Yeah, so it's the Star Wars Jedi franchise. You have the High Republic franchise, and you have the Star Wars Jedi franchise, and that's how that works. Or you know. All right. So yeah, that's it. We'll be back with another episode next week. But until then, for Jordan, Chad, Hannah, Ben, Dominic, all the other fantastic people at the Star Wars Underworld, my name is Chris, and may the Force be with you.
That's a wrap?
Who's gonna say?
I'm like,
I said
That's the first question. That's a wrap? What?
That's a wrap?
Is it a wrap? Could it be?
That's a wrap.
There we go.